What's up? Only a minute late. What's up? How's it going, everybody? Hello. I have gotten some things fixed, but also some things not fixed. And it has really drilled into my head of it's a risk to trust anything you didn't build yourself. It is a risk to build out things in third-party tools, and I'm experiencing that. But hi, hello, where's the camera now? Hi, how's it going? My name's Mega. This is Critical Eyes. Maybe. For the meantime, I suppose, until everything breaks again. How are you? We are watching Critical Role, Campaign 1, Episode 107. They are on a tugboat, heading to the Scald Seat. I'm a longtime DM. I watch it. I tell you what I think. We have some fun. We do some theories. Let's just freaking get into it. And wait. Can I highlight Mac 30's post? Wait. Or comment. Mike 30. Whoa, look at that. It almost looks normal. Shit. Dang it. It looks so weird. Why does it look that way, dude? Why does it look like that? Oh, well. Let's get it all pulled up. I have to pull it up all manually because none of the setup stuff is working. But that's okay. Let's see here. We are in Critical Role Campaign 1. Oh, it was so nice.
Hello, everyone.
When I had coding to pull it up for me. Oh, that time long ago. There we go. We're back. So we've got them pulled up. And you know what? Frick it, man. Frick it. Let's try something. Let's try something new. Let's try something crazy. I'm going to... Let's see. Will this even work? Okay, it doesn't look terrible yet. I have something I'm testing. I'm not committing to this yet. But I feel like it's kind of a why not sort of situation right now to test stuff. Does monetization work now because I got an ad when I opened the stream? You got an ad? What the hell, dude? Monetization is on, but the ads automator is off. I should have to manually serve the ad. What the fuck, man? Well, it's at least fixed as far as it appears to me, but apparently not actually. YouTube's a troll a little bit, man. A little bit. What's up? Hello, everybody. We are getting set up because all the things that set things up are all broken. Where is the United Critical Role Theory? Oh, there it is. I found it. So many ads last stream, but I do usually get one when I open for the first time most mega streams. Okay. I guess as long as you don't normally get mid-rolls, and mid-rolls don't happen. That's the mid-rolls are the big disruptor. Those are the ones I mostly care about, not being there. I always get ads when opening the stream, even when you have it manual. When it's manual, I just don't get them during the stream. Okay, cool. That's fine. It's maybe not like wholly preferred, I'd prefer if I could control it all, but if I have to control one or the other. Okay. Ooh, I can't make these bigger, can I? Oh, no, I can. Okay. Be prepared for some crazy shit. This is just a proof of concept, and I just want to, test it out this stream. But I made my own little note-taking little applet. It's just a tiny little guy. And we're going to see if it works even remotely. Yeah. Because if it does, I could maybe combine like the best parts of Obsidian and World Anvil and all that sort of stuff, and have more direct control over it, and not have to deal with issues like I'm dealing with right now, where third-party apps update and they just break the integrations between them. And so now all my shit's broken. And I would have to fucking downgrade to fix them. And I don't want to do that. Okay, it looks ugly. I don't have like a dark mode setting for it yet. But don't be too harsh. Okay. Because it has text. The text looks fine. And I can add, and I can draw. I can draw in the text in the same thing, which is something I haven't been able to do in any note-taking software that we've used. So that's kind of something. Megan decided to build more bespoke tech stuff. Yes, I did, because I got I've been frustrated this freaking weekend. Not this weekend, this week. And this weekend, I suppose. Looks like Windows 98. Yeah, kinda. Look, I'm not a graphic designer, all right? This is a proof of concept for Megamind Notes. We'll see. I'm gonna try it. Okay. What is your current plan for Tlovum? No comment. I have a plan for it, but I cannot share. I thought I would be able to share by now, but I can't. I'm being careful of spoilers. Don't worry. I want to head that off right at the pass, because I know there's always concern. I'm being very careful. It's all good. But I cannot share. Let's see. Okay. I'll take eyeballs. It is, there's something sneaky going on. I can't lie about that. But but I cannot specify what they are. Also, I'm just realizing just now, in my head, these were all in like different blocks, and so I could have put the drawings in between them. But if they're all like this, I need a way to like insert a drawing block right here. I'm already seeing a flaw in this. But I can do that. That's just a button. That's just a context menu thing. Just like, right click, insert drawing here, take all the text after it, put it in a new block, put a new drawing block, or put a new drawing block, put all the text within it in a new block below that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Anyways, that's for later me. For current me, only 10 freaking minutes in, I think we're going to start the show. The only other thing I'll say, man, Raven Queen is sus as hell. Raven Queen is sus as fuck. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, what is going on with her? Because someone made a comment about, I already thought she was suspicious. And then I read the Tal'Dorei guide. And I was like, damn, she's even more suspicious. I have even more questions. And then someone left a comment about a weird theory that I had about the Raven Queen. And their comment made me even more suspicious of the Raven Queen. So I don't want to go too into it because it is one of like the main things in the Tal'Dorei guide video that I think will be fun in the edit. But man, am I suspicious of her ass. The biggest issues with you watching 12 of them are expired at this point. That's not to say some people don't disagree with that statement, though. We don't even need to talk about it. We don't even need to litigate it. It's fine. For reasons that I cannot say, I'm very not worried about encountering spoilers. For reasons inherent to why I can't specify the plans. So, you're trying to integrate MS Word and MS Paint? A little bit. Oh, no, why is the text so big? No! Shit. Do you see the muscle memory? The muscle memory was just like, oh, I'm reading it, put it on screen. Oh, no. It looks so bad. Shit. But have you only read the history parts of the Tal'Dorei guide, or did you look into the mechanics as well? I only read the history parts, I will say. I'm still, like, considering the Tal'Dorei guide. I'm still considering the Tal'Dorei guide like an open resource that like I might look through if something came up that was relevant to it. But like if I remember like Runechild was in there, which is I believe what Gilmore is. And I was like, I could read that. But it's been like so not relevant. Or maybe it has. Maybe it has been relevant in a way that I just don't understand. But I have so little to go on with like what him being a rune child even means that I almost feel like I want to not even read it unless it becomes more relevant. Because I think it'll just distract me, if I'm being honest. I think it'll largely just distract me and make my theories spiral out into even more craziness. Who are you and where's our hour intro? Don't worry, we're going back in. We're diving back in. Raven Queen is also my favorite. As a Persephone lover and also just a bird enthusiast. Lol. It's really easy to read on mobile, though. That's good. I'm glad. That was World Anvil's biggest issue, is that World Anvil was not very legible. I like a lot about World Anvil, but specifically displaying on stream, the UI was not, and displaying in a vertical resolution on stream was not great. The highlight comment is easy to read on mobile. Oh, dang it. Not this? Shoot. Darn. That's all right. If your guiding star is still what the creators knew, then it makes sense for the book to be fully open to you. Yeah, I'm not restricting any part of the book from myself. I'm more just, the book is long, and I was more just like, I don't know if there's that much more meat to it than I've read. Yeah. The mechanics part has something to say about being fate touched. Now that's a good point. Now that. Ooh. That you make a good point about. Wait a second. Oh no, should I put this in the video? I'm not good at making offline videos. I just want to be on stream and talk to people. I don't want to make videos, man. But I want to know. Where is it? It's somewhere over here, I know. New feats? Fate touched, 108. Wait. 108. Oh, wait. There we go. That's 114. Kiss of the Changebringer. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Buy me dinner first. Okay. Fate touched. Okay, because this is a good point. I do actually really want to know what this is all about. Many lives and many souls find their way through the patterns of fate and destiny, their threads following the path meant for them, oblivious and eager to be a part of the wovenness. And some souls ever glide forth with mysterious thread bending the weave around them, toward them, unknowingly guiding history itself wherever they walk. Whoa, okay, what the fuck is all this? This is just poetic nonsense. Events both magnificent and catastrophic tend to follow such individuals. These souls often become great rulers or terrible tyrants, powerful mages, religious leaders, legendary heroes of lore. These are the fate-touched. Few fate-touched ever become aware of their prominent nature. Okay. Outside of powerful divination magics, it's extremely difficult to confirm one as fate-touched. There are many communities that regard the status as a terrible omen, treating a confirmed fate touch with mistrust and fear. Others see them as a blessing. Okay. So, I mean... Players are not intended to select this background, but is instead provided for the dungeon master to consider for one or more of the players, or perhaps a prominent NPC. It provides very minor mechanical benefit, but instead adds an element of lore, importance, and fate-bearing responsibility to a character within your story. Yeah, it makes them the chosen one, man. That's fine. Your fate-touched essence, you gain 1 luck point as per the lucky feat. Okay. Sure. So, okay. And this is why I was honestly not quite sure if I would read a lot of the mechanical stuff, because this is like, it's very vague. It's very vague in a way that I think makes sense for the book that is being written. But it's not giving me much to go on in terms of theory. It doesn't, it doesn't contradict anything, like the parts of the histories that I found so interesting. It's just giving, like, vague importance, which is, I mean, literally what the like, out of fiction text says. It's like, it's provided for dungeon masters to consider. It provides It provides an element of lore, importance, and fate-bearing responsibility. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Nothing, I think. I think it means nothing. That's what I've kind of decided about Fate Touched. Like, it means something within the narrative because it makes the character the chosen one. But no one chooses them. Like, it's not like they don't seem to have anything particularly special about them. It's not like a sorceress heritage where we would, maybe learn something about their ancestry. It's not like they're actually a favored of a god where we would get to learn something about, like, the god's personality based on what they choose. It's just like a random little mutation that can just happen to you that just makes you special. But because fate is so loosely defined within D&D in general, and it's not further defined within this book, I'm kind of like, This feels like something that could just be made up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this feels... I think that's the reason that Fate Touched is always kind of hit or miss for me. Even within my own theorizing. Like, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Because it feels like something that you could... Like, someone brought it up at one point of, like, what if the Raven Queen is just lying to Vax? No! No! Are we back? Okay, we're back. Dude, we lost the internet for a second there. Oh no! It can't be. We can't do this. Not again. Okay, it's back. Anyways. No. I was about to ask if it was just me going back to no. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Anyways. I don't know. The way I read Fate Touched isn't the chosen one. The chosen one to me is preordained. Fate Touched basically means that you don't have a predefined destiny. Yeah, I guess. I mean chosen one more in like the loose narrative. I guess being preordained is kind of part of being the chosen one. I guess that's fair. It's the chosen one in a similar way that like Harry Potter's the chosen one, you know? He's the chosen one to defeat Voldemort, not because it was preordained, but just because he's a special little boy. You know? That's more what I mean by it. I am using the term kind of loosely, though. Haven't read the book, Deaf Bee. It's like, he's the chosen one because his mom loved him a lot. And he just has, like, historical family drama with Voldemort. And that's, like, kind of it. But he's still, even in that case, Harry Potter's the chosen, like, his status as the chosen one is more interesting to me than something like Fate Touched, because it is integral to his relationship to the villain, right? Like, it's a personal family drama. I think it's more interesting. It doesn't, like, make sense, but it doesn't need to. It's like Quidditch. It's like Quidditch. Quidditch is a dumbass, stupid-ass game that is riding on purely vibes. And that's the same thing with Harry Potter being the chosen one. It's a dumbass, stupid-ass reasoning that is just there for the vibes. It's just, Voldemort doesn't have love in his life. That's basically Tom Riddle's whole shtick. And Harry does. And that is why they are like an anathema to each other. That is why, like, his parents come back as ghosts to save him in Goblet of Fire after Cedric Diggory gets slimed on live telly. It's crazy. It's actually crazy that Cedric just gets fucking just gets absolutely decimated, and then his dad wails over his corpse like 10 minutes later. Because Cedric's parents didn't love him enough, but Harry's did. Harry's loved him so much that they came back from the motherfucking dead to save his ass. Anyways, what are we talking about? Fate Touch. That's right. I don't know where I was going with that. It's all just too random. It's all so the Fate Touched. It's just it doesn't mean enough for me to care. It's just like, you're a little special guy, and what does that mean? It's up to you. It's just like whatever. Yeah. And aren't all adventures a little bit chosen ones? You know, I don't prefer it that way. Also, I did the highlighting thing again. Dang it. I don't prefer it that way. The closest I get to preferring it that way is Oblivion's version of the Chosen One, the Hero of Kvatch. The Hero of Kvatch isn't really the Chosen One. Like, they are not really the protagonist of the story. Martin Septim is. But the Emperor does say that the hero was the stars foretold of his coming. Like, he seems to have, like, there's a level of fate of, like, he's involved within the Septum bloodline in some way. They're involved, he or she. But they're not the big special boy. And that's what I'm not into, you know? There's the whole Shezarine. Okay, we're not getting into the Shezarine of it all, because then we have to contend. Look, I am a believer that the player is sure. God, not sure. Not Lokir. Lorcan. Jesus. Lorcan. I am a believer that the player is Lorcan. But we're not getting into Shezarine. Anyways. Voldy went after him because there was a prophecy about him defeating him. That's a good point. I kind of forgot about that. Fate Touch is more so Anakin Skywalker in my mind. Yeah, but there's less. It does seem like there is probably some equivalent of midichlorians. Like, it's just like, like random people just have more or less of it. And I also don't care about that. I also don't really like Star Wars. I don't know if we've ever really mentioned this. I think Star Wars is kind of dumb. But I also didn't watch it as a child. I watched my first Star Wars movie when I was 15 years old, I think. And thought it was dumb, and then didn't watch the rest until I was like 18 or 19. That comparison I do find to be accurate, and also I care about them equally, which is not much. So, I don't know. But you want to talk about interesting Chosen One storylines? Let's look at Dune. Dune rules. I want to put it out there. I haven't read any Dune book besides Dune. And I only watched the first movie because I thought that the movie was very slow and plotting. And like cut out all of the stuff that I liked about Dune. But yeah, I thought it was fine, the movie. I thought the movie was fine. It was just like, oh, this is just like worse than the book in like most ways. In my opinion. But I thought the book was really cool. And I also kind of agree that's like my version of the Chosen One. Is like kind of a weird dystopian Chosen One. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm a huge nerd who finds most of peak nerd books and movies to be mid at best, including Star Wars. I think I just don't have the nostalgia. I think Star Wars is really cool if you grow up with it at a point where you're able to suspend your disbelief more easily and readily, and you don't have a lot of things to compare it to. Because, and I think it's very similar with Star Trek. I'm a big Star Trek fan. I grew up watching Star Trek. I grew up at a time where I could just get used to the idea of the Federation as a concept and not be kind of squinty-eyed at it like I think I would be if I had watched it when I was much older. I think if I'd watched it when I was much older, I might not have been as into the Federation. But also, I think there's a good chance I still would have been. I'm just more into TV than movies. I just like TV more. More time to establish lore, do things, whatever. I like Star Trek's model more. My favorite Star Wars is Clone Wars. Because it's a TV show that has, like, time to do its thing. So I think it's maybe just that I don't like I don't like Star Wars because the movies established the initial plot and, like, context of the universe. And I don't like universes as much that are set up in movies rather than TV or books. Anyways, none of that is really here nor there. you explaining Quidditch as pure vibes made me immediately think of it as a GMing style. I mean, it kind of is. Quidditch is just jazz. Like, it's not like the rules. If you're going to enjoy Quidditch, you can't care about the rules because the rules are. Oh, fuck, dude. Stop. No. Fuck. Don't love that. Okay. I have a theory. That I can actually change like midstream, and maybe it'll help. Let's try that. Oh God. Okay. Cool. I blame your note-taking app. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I might have done something. I lowered the bit rate. So, hope if it's like a bandwidth issue, then hopefully that will help. Anyways. Quidditch is 100% not jazz. Jazz is free flow music. Quidditch is just Gryffindor wins. Nah, it's more like I'm imagining actually going to a Quidditch match. I feel like the experience of watching Quidditch, especially if you're not watching a Quidditch match that is featured in a movie or a book. Or Gryffindor's just not participating in this one. It's like, also wait, the Quidditch, it's not a, do they have Gryffindor Quidditch team? They do. Anyways, it's like the actual experience of watching it is just like the individual rules are fun. Like the fact that there's a person that's basically playing a whole separate mini game during it to catch the snitch is funny. Like that's just funny. That's fun. I think that's hilarious. And like the fact that they have people who are just meant to like throw shit at you like a snowball fight the entire time, but also the entire match is played in the air where falling off your broom could lead to serious injury. It's like dystopian. It's like Blood Bowl. It's like Blood Bowl, right? It's just like all of it is just kind of hilarious and doesn't make any sense. But I think if you're just like there for a good time, it's kind of like NASCAR. I think I've been to NASCAR. I've watched NASCAR at family events. It's fun. Just like watching the cars go around the track, and occasionally there's a big ass crash, like, you know, someone getting fucking hit by a bludgeon. It's fun. It's not like interesting, but it's really fun to just like kick back a little bit and watch. So I feel like that's more of what I mean when I say that it's jazz. It's like, I'm not trying to break it down. I'm not trying to care too much about it. And people that are really into jazz might take issue with that. I'm not that into jazz. I think it's fun in a similar way of like, I listen to it and I'm like, hell yeah, this is music. But I'm also not that into music broadly. So, but I don't know. That's kind of what Fate Touched is to me. That's kind of what Fate Touched is to me. It's Quidditch, it's NASCAR, it's jazz. It's just don't think about it too much. They're important. And but I'm not going to theorize on that, you know? I'm not going to craft a theory about that, you know? That feels like it would be a waste of time. Which sounds so mean, but I don't know. Oh, man. Let's see. I've missed so many things. Quidditch does have rules. It's just the rules are insanely bad. Exactly. If you're gonna enjoy it, you just can't care about the rules. You just can't care. Yeah. If you catch the snitch when your team is losing that badly, you should be kicked from the team. Yeah, absolutely. You should get stabbed in the bathroom. I can't believe anyone that caught the Quidditch, the snitch, and resulted in their team losing. Like, just don't catch it. Just don't catch it. How do you not get shivved in the men's locker room after that? I don't get it. I don't understand. If frats have people die at them every other year, I can't believe Quidditch teams don't have the same thing. It's insane. Is essentially the only way to end the game? Yeah. To my understanding, yeah. That's why games can last for days. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But if you're just there, just like hanging out, drinking a beer with the buds, taking a shot every time someone touches the snitch but doesn't catch it, if you're fucking chugging your drink, if you have to finish your drink every time someone falls off their broom and like risks a severe neck injury, then it's kind of fun. Then it's kind of hype, you know? So I think that's kind of what Fate Touched is to me. Anyways, Critical Role, right?
Actually, should be only about a half an hour now.
There's sound effects, first of all. Appreciate the sound effects. If we're going on a 3-hour tour, if we're going on a 3-hour tour, I demand to know who's Gilligan, who's the skipper.
Yeah.
No. I'm like
Millionaire and his wife.
Oh, nice.
The movie star.
No, Ginger.
Oh, Ginger.
Well, then there's the professor and Mary Ann.
Professor.
Yeah. You might be the professor.
I may be the professor.
So maybe you're Mary Ann.
Well, wait.
Does that make me
Wouldn't you
Ginger?
be Thurston Howell?
I
feel like I would really be Thurston. Yeah. I feel like Thurston's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually.
Although.
Yeah.
You're Mary Ann, you're Professor.
This is going to be very helpful against Vector.
or you're Ginger.
That would make sense also. You're the crazy
I'm
monkey
Ginger
on the
Miss
island that
Mary
just
Ann?
kept fucking shit up. All right.
That was the weirdest sound.
As you set sail, the wind picks up, speed is enhanced, and you gather at this rate, probably under 2 hours, you probably make it to the destination with the help of
I'd
the
hope it's a second
Arisharis.
level spell,
Yeah.
gust of wind.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't toss the tiny ship.
So, as it guides on, the Captain Santee just stands at the front of the ship, just glancing out. This kind of like just giant square jaw, just kind of nestled right into where the pecs kind of meet up beneath the thick like sweater that's almost like hanging off the arms at this point. No cap, kind of balding head with a kind of straggly hair in the back, and just kind of looks off in the distance. The rest of the two are just kind of sitting back with their various jugs of some unseen liquid, just keeping tabs on the sail, and it's a very leisurely, lackadaisical energy on the ship.
How many feet, I guess, is this ship from front to back?
Front to back, I'd say it's about 25 feet.
Oh
25
my
feet.
crammed on this.
Yeah!
This is a
Yeah, okay, so this is, I imagine that Matt is essentially thinking of the boat from Jaws. This sounds like the boat from Jaws.
It's a shoebox.
shit.
Yeah.
It's like 25, 30 feet.
barely
Is there
fit.
a way to go
No.
any faster on this? Is there no way to go faster, Captain?
Captain, you tell the captain, he goes,
Yes. Do you go out to this volcano often? Lovely.
Santee is so wise.
Why do you say that?
He sees the sea. Look at him.
We can all see the sea. It's right
Santee
there.
of the Shanty sees the sea.
Santee of the Shanty Sea sees the sea.
and points out, and you glance in the direction of where Santee, the short shanty, is, and you can see there's in the distance a little line of dark that is rising out of the ocean.
Wow.
Shanty
Oh,
of
you
the
found it.
shore shanty.
You found
Santee
it.
of the shore shanty spotted.
I will throw something.
Smoke.
Do you think Shanty of the Shore Shanty sells seashells?
Surely not.
Rocks fall everywhere. Quickly enough, you begin to approach, and you can now see what was a thin column is now a fairly large, billowing stream of dark fume that just, you can see as the waves get kind of larger and larger the further out you go with certain swells. Some of it breaks out and it kind of chains and snakes upward based on how it's finding its way to the surface. Eventually you get kind of within maybe 30, 40 feet of where it breaks the surface there, and the sails are let loose, are fallen to loose and tighter on the bottom. Anchor is thrown off the side, chain is let down, and then eventually the captain turns back and...
All right, should we?
Well, hold on, just Gene, hold on. I saw you drop anchor. Do you have an idea of like how deep it is here?
Glances over the side.
Okay. Very deep. Is your chain long enough for your anchor to hit bottom? Cool.
I'm sorry, do you talk ever?
At this point, you hear, as soon as you say that question, the two other older, gnarled gentlemen on the ship go... The captain just staring at you. Spits in the ground before you.
I see you're also skilled in interpretive dance. You're very good.
Okay. The ship will be gone.
No, it won't.
You know, I
We
didn't
pay
want
for
to
it.
waste
Let's
time on
just
my own
go
business. Let's just go on.
Down.
Let's do this.
Wait for us for
Water breathing.
3 days.
Oh, and trinket.
And trinket. Poof.
All right.
I had him in the necklace because it was such a tight little boat, but now he's out.
All right. With that, you all have water breathing. Do you all...
24 hours.
Oh, wait, can you...
I was about to ask the exact same thing, Laura Bailey. Can bears swim? I don't know that they can. They can climb trees, some of them. And they swipe salmon out of streams. Of course bears swim? What do you mean, of course bears swim? Don't say, of course bears swim. They might not. Elephants don't swim. Giraffes don't swim. They're a big animal. I didn't know if they were too big. I thought they might be too big to swim. Bears are very buoyant. Polar bears famously swim. Well, polar bears are kind of a different bear. Right? Like, I feel like polar bears, when I say bear, I don't mean polar bears. I mean, when I say bear, I mean a bear that is not a polar bear and is not a panda bear. I feel like those two bears, those are different bears. And then, so there's like polar bears and panda bears, and then bears, which is like brown bears, black bears, sun bears. Those are all over here. Do those bears swim? It seems logical to me that they would, but I feel like whenever I see pictures of them, they're always standing on rocks. I feel like I never see them fishing. Bears are excellent swimmers. What a way to shut down our P by the DM. What? Bears are very buoyant, huh? Elephants swim? Elephants don't have knees. How do they swim? What? Do they keep themselves afloat by like blowing shit out their trunk? What do you mean they swim? How? I know how I swim. It takes joints. All right? They don't have knees. They can't jump. I'll say this. If you can't jump, you can't swim. And I believe that. They can still move their legs. You're telling me there's a video out there somewhere of an elephant just rapidly going underwater to keep themselves afloat? I don't think so. If I didn't have knees, I wouldn't be able to swim. And that's immediately false, because I used to do that. That was like a light arm day. We would just go in and tread water for like an hour with no legs. So clearly that's not true. But still, do fish have knees? What are fish? Are we fish? before you ask your smart aleck questions. And also, I would argue that their entire body kind of a knee? Did you ever think about that? Is it their entire body? You ever see a fish wiggle? Fucking watch out. Look at that. Look at that, huh? Look at that, huh? That's basically a fish. That motion? That's basically how a fish swims. A fish is basically a knee. And that's my stance on the topic. Crimseg, you might how do I explain this? It might be better to start at the beginning of the stream, although maybe not. I don't know. I do at least summarize what the stream's about at the beginning, so it kind of took a little bit of a left turn. I can't lie. But I was just going to say, can bears swim? Apparently they can. I didn't know this. Hippos? Don't they like run? I do know that hippos run. I know that's a point. They're too dense. They just like run along the bottom of rivers. Hippos are scary though. Anyways, I am curious on this. Are we going to get to the underwater volcano and then we're just not going to deal with underwater combat rules anymore? Because famously for Critical Role, it kind of didn't go super well last time. Matt did an underwater combat. So it'll really be interesting to me to see if Matt tries to go back there, right? Is it like, does he try to like do the whole underwater combat thing and try to do it better than the last Kraken fight? You know, has he learned from the Kraken fight? Or does he just say, I'm not interested in that type of thing, right? Because that's happened to me before. When I've tested something out, you know, I've been trying to expand my repertoire, and I try something out, and I say, oop, this just ain't for me. But then he said, you know, the Scald seat as a, you know, as an underwater volcano, as an underwater setting. But then he also is implying that they're like caverns filled with gas. So maybe we'll just have to like go through the water to get to like land. So we won't actually have to do an underwater level. It's a question. I love water as a exploration blocker. One of my favorite examples being the Marrowglade Lock. I think the Marrowglade Lock was awesome, putting the dungeon that didn't have any water in it, right? It was like a normal dungeon, just at the bottom of the Marrowglade Lock. Super cool. Gives a lot of opportunity for things like water breathing from Keyleth. Also gives a lot of opportunities for some interesting like chase sequences because it just kind of stays there. It's not like you can like deal with the water. You can't deal with it permanently, at least. You can't get rid of the water. You have to deal with it on the way in and out no matter what, which is very interesting. And especially when they're coming out, they're not in like a submarine, right? They're coming out here on a tugboat, so they'll have to deal with this length of water no matter what. And I'm very curious because there haven't been any enemies implied. And I think that the water is best at like being like this like very indestructible blocker. It's very hard to just like destroy water. Unlike big rock, you know, a big amount of earth, like you can just vaporize or dig or move or whatever. Water just stays there and it flows and it changes. It's very hard to control. But it's not that hard to actually deal with. You can deal with it by just holding your breath. So I'm very interested when there don't seem to be any explicit enemies here? Is the water just a time delayer, right? Is the time going to matter on the order of like hours? You know, is Vecna gaining strength hour by hour, and so them having to go through the ocean and take, you know, that time to swim down, does that matter? Or is it for delaying them on an even shorter clock? Could Scald's Seat potentially erupt due to their actions at the anvil, and they'll have to, like, escape it through the water before it does? You know, there's a lot of interesting ways that the water delaying them or slowing them down in a way that they can't really control or fight against could be very interesting, but I'm not seeing any early indications as to what those will be. And I hope that it does matter in some way. I think the Marrowglade lock was interesting, but because of the way that I think the session ended, we just kind of got a little bit of a montage of them leaving. And I think that dealing with the water on the way back out would have been very interesting. I understand why he cut it for the Marrowglade lock specifically, but I'm kind of hoping that we maybe get the more interesting version of it with Scald's Seat. And also, if you can't jump, you can't swim.
Swim? He's good. We did it before, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's good at swimming as, you know,
He's an
half your
expert now
party.
after the Kraken fight. The Kraken fight.
What?
I'm so glad I don't have to do that. You just do it for me. It's fine.
All right, you guys make your way to the water.
Alter self to give herself the like gill hands.
Oh, yeah, the
and
webbed
the
fingers?
again.
Okay.
That was cool.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I do a proper.
Man, I wish. I need to fix my chat highlighter. I'm just reading back through the chats now that I'm done, and I'm like, I'm committed to just moving on from the conversation, but some of you guys are funny.
Paddy enters the water.
Perfect. As each of you make your way into the water, you can smell, by the way, the fumes are going to be. It's not, you know, because you see the dark color of it, you immediately envision, or at least instinctually prepare for the smell of like fire smoke or a fireplace. As soon as it hits you, it's a very acrid, sharp, metallic smell with hints of sulfur and other chemicals that burn the inside of your nose and sinuses immediately.
In the water, going up our noses.
Well, this is just the proximity of being this close.
Right.
Yeah, like just being near, you can smell occasionally as the wind kind of blows through, a bit of whiff gets to you. But you all make your way under the surface and begin to swim down, following with your vision where the source of this dark column of fume is.
Do we have good visibility?
It's all right.
Oh, shit.
40 feet? 60 feet?
So you get about 60 feet or so before it gets a little murky.
I think I've still got one more charge in the flashlight.
Also okay, so now we have not only we have big water, but we've never even talked about this before. We've talked about big rock, big air, big water. We've never really had big fire before as like an environmental blocker. But we haven't talked about light. Matt has not done a whole lot with dim light or vision in general. If I had to guess, it's because, you know, we've got 3 half-elves on the crew. I don't think Goliaths, obviously humans don't have dark vision, but if I remember correctly, Grog gets dark vision from his belt of dwarven kind? I could be wrong about that. But I want to say he has dark vision. I want to say gnomes also have dark vision. Belt of dwarven kind. There we go. So the only person that really ever has to deal with the lack of dark vision is Percival. Poor Humi Percy. So Matt hasn't really made it a major part of the campaign. Totally fair. But I do get the sense that he might be doing it now, and combining lack of light with all of the normal restrictions of water could make for a very disorienting descent, which could be interesting. I'm curious to see if maybe Matt does something with Like, they need to find the entrance to the tunnels, which is just like a small hole. And they keep getting, like, lost within the smoke, within, like, the occluded water. There could be something interesting there. I just wouldn't want it to turn into, just roll until you find it. Which, it's hard to do, like, getting lost without just making it roll and roll and roll and roll. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be interested. It also could just be, it could just be vibes. It could just be like the aesthetic of, like, it's getting darker as you go down, and it might not matter. An active volcano would be spewing a bunch of cloudy materials into the water as well. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about. Like, he could do something with getting lost, even with everyone having dark vision. You could just have the volcano smoke or the chemicals that are being spewed out just occlude the vision like fog. Then dark vision isn't going to help you there. Certainly options to do that, but I don't know that any of them that I see a super satisfying route through any of them. But I can cross my fingers that Matt will surprise me.
If I recall.
Okay. So.
Doty.
The red light?
Yeah.
I miss Doty.
All right, so you guys make your way.
I'd trade Scanlan for Doty any day.
Down below. Who's
We don't
leading
even
this? You
need
get a marching
Terry.
order for underwater, by the way.
I'll go ahead.
All right, so
Yeah,
Max is the
I'm
front.
useless, and Percy's kind of useless underwater, so.
Extremely useless.
I should be in
Percy
front.
has the light, too. So.
Extremely
in the middle.
useless.
I'll be with Percy, kind of more up front.
Alrighty.
Sorry, I didn't want to hack on camera.
Just behind Percival.
Alrighty. Wrong.
You don't have
What should I be?
You're sinking faster than most anybody.
Yeah. How about I'm the downweight assistant for whoever's in the front? Like, I just hold on to their ankles.
Drinking your necklace or swimming as well?
He's swimming.
Okay, so Drink's trying to keep up next to you. Scanlan, where are you?
I'm probably next to Percy.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, so you guys begin.
And Matt's doing a marching order, which would be important towards any sort of getting lost sort of scenario, which is interesting. And I called this out, I think, back when they were in Marquette, going into the Marquette Ziggurat, in that a DM establishing a marching order, I think, just inherently implies danger. It inherently implies that something is going to happen because, or not because of, but if something weren't going to happen, you wouldn't ask for the marching order because it just wouldn't matter, right? Something must happen that cares about the marching order, that cares about the order in which you're in. And that's most often going to be dangerous. And I think you can either go kind of two ways with that. You can either go the way of asking for marching order more often when it doesn't matter. That way it kind of loses that indicating power, right? It loses that power of indicating when danger is coming. And so you can ask for it and then still surprise them. Or you take the tact of only calling for it when it matters, and then you can use it as a way to build up tension, right? If you only ask for it when it does matter and when there is going to be a danger that cares about it, then just the act of asking for the marching order itself serves as a ratcheting up of that tension. And for a long time, I thought that's the way that Matt went with it, is that he was only asking for it when danger was involved and that it was a way to ratchet up tension. And I think it still does serve to ratchet up tension, but I have noticed him more consistently asking for it in places where it doesn't matter. And I wonder if that's on purpose or what. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's on purpose, like he's trying to get them out of the mindset of marching order always indicates something is going to go wrong. I think that's a valid thing to do. I tend more towards the side of using it to build tension personally. But there's a downside to that in that they know that something's going to happen. So I think it's fair to try and get them out of that cycle. It's just interesting that if he is going to try to do that it at least seems to me like he's doing it so late. So I don't know. I don't know whether or not to take this as, oh, something's going to happen or something's not. I'm not sure. He's given me doubt, which may be what he wants.
Making your way down, you can breathe the water just fine. As you descend 40, 60 feet, 80 feet.
I'm equalizing.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you're breathing water. It's not necessary.
Really? Your ears wouldn't pop
No,
still?
air
We're in
is
Paris
still.
in the abyss right now.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
It's funny,
You're breathing the
you
pink.
just mentioned equalizing. I can't help it. Like, I'm trying to do it myself now.
Quick question. Like in space, can we talk underwater if there's no air going through our vocal cords? Cool.
Oh, good. We can't communicate.
Just a check.
I'll say because you have the earring, you can maybe get, it's a little garbled, but you can hear it a little bit.
It's like that game we all played when we were growing up. Like trying to.
Oh, Matt, the earrings are so weird. I think if I wouldn't include the earrings in my games for reasons I've laid out before. But if I were going to, I think I would stick to the interpretation of you have to be able to speak if you're going to do it. Like you have to be like Travis kind of just pointed out there, like air has to be able to travel over your vocal cords and like reach the earring normally, I would say. I think Matt's a little bit too loose with the earrings. Even though I wouldn't include them in general, I think if you are going to include them, you want to try to be a little bit more specific about it. But I also think that Matt in general just kind of wants the earrings as a rationale as to why the characters can frequently talk to each other when they wouldn't be able to physically hear each other, right? That seems to be the kind of underlying motivation for them. So I get why he plays it a little bit fast and loose with that, but I don't know. I would try to be more specific.
Flashlight.
I guess one.
So you can make out the gist of things, but depending how fast you're talking, it can be hard to hear.
Okay.
It's getting darker and darker the further down you descend, and the water gets murkier and murkier. It also gets warmer.
Stop peeing back.
I was waiting for it.
Do you call them Bex?
Facts, and I said sorry at the same time, so I'm peeing right now is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's good. It leads you into it. Descending further and further, the only visible light that you have is the one at Percival. It's not shining below. And as it goes through, you can see it reveals about another 40 or so feet ahead of you, and then as you pass over it, suddenly becomes shorter and then longer again as it comes and hits the smoke. And you can see the smoke and the fume now. It's billowing up at a rapid pace, and the water's getting hotter and hotter to the point where right now it's starting to feel like a sauna.
Oh, we didn't think about fire.
Hell yeah, bro. I got nothing to say, but hell yeah. That's sick. This is very Blades in the Dark in a way that I haven't seen from Matt a lot. Like this scene being like very, very theater of the mind and very encompassing layers, right? And oh my gosh, I can do a drawing. Oh my goodness, we're in. It's like the way that Blades in the Dark goes. Also, yeah, take a shot, put it on the counter. A lot of times at least is like there is something that the players want, which is just surrounded in multiple layers of security. This is the way, at least, I saw a lot of the recommendations for how to build Blades in the Dark scores. This is what I saw for, in the book. This is how it was kind of recommended. And then occasionally, depending on how they approach, maybe there are different layers that aren't necessarily overlapping, but they can be easily managed within theater of the mind, right? So maybe there is a wall that surrounds the entire compound, right? They're going to have to deal with the wall no matter which way they approach from. That's a strategy towards making it easy to deliver within theater of the mind, right? Not needing a gridded tile. That way, it literally the only two sides of the wall that matter, or the only point on the wall that matter, is what is outside the wall and what is inside the wall, right? Every point on the wall is basically considered synonymous with every other point on the wall. That makes it really, really easy to run in theater of the mind. And it guarantees that they have to deal with that challenge. And then maybe once you get in, there's a first story, a second story, and a roof, right? And maybe those each have differing types of security or different challenges that they have to overcome. And there might be some scouting and decision-making there about which type of security you want to deal with. First floor, second floor, roof. But those are still very easy to manage in theater of the mind. You're tying these different kind of theories, or these different kind of securities, to very identifiable features of the encampment, right? You're tying it to this security measures on the first floor, this on the second floor, so that you can very easily communicate to your players about where things are, what they're doing, where the threats are, all, again, within theater of the mind. I've never gotten that sort of thing from Matt before, but I'm absolutely getting it in this one, right? We have the anvil all the way at the bottom, right? Let's see if I can draw an anvil without even thinking about it, right? Not terrible. Not the worst anvil I could have drawn. Anyways, so we've got the anvil down at the bottom. And then we have the assumingly caverns of smoke that it doesn't seem like there's any way to the anvil without going through these caverns with these gases. Around that, it seems, is lava. I'm going to draw this very realistic fire. Isn't that such realistic fire? And then there is the physical manifestation of the actual volcano. And then there is just hot water all the way around the volcano and smoke all the way around the volcano. And the really important thing about all of these is that they are just radiating outward, right? All of these different layers are completely surrounding the objective. There is no way to look at it from a different angle or to explore in a better part of it and find a way through the layer, right? This is just the volcano is heating up the water. All of the water around the volcano is hot. Right? It is kind of a required thing that you have to go through. And while I don't think I don't love this sort of exploration challenge for lower level parties, because a lot of, I think, lower level exploration fun, a lot of the times, is exploring the environment and figuring out a way that people as weak and shitty as the characters can solve the issue, right? So it's all about finding the weakness. At higher levels, players have so many tools, player characters, I should say, have so many tools, so many options available to them for how they're going to solve any given challenge, that I think it's much more interesting at those levels, at least, than at lower levels, to present them with just these multi-layered challenges that where like you just have to get through each subsequent layer and you just have to figure out what tool in your toolbox to use to get through that and to solve it. Whether that tool in your toolbox is a spell, a martial feature, or just your large HP pool. Like, maybe you just fucking eat it for a little bit, you know? Eat it. But it's interesting. The only, I guess, difference or distinction that I kind of hope exists, but that I haven't gotten too much indication of yet, are some amount of decision-making options. Right now it seems like they're just like required layers they have to go through. I hope at some point there is some manner of fork in the road for them that where they can make a decision. But I don't think it's like a bad thing that it hasn't come up yet by any means. And I think it's a good style of exploration challenge to present to them at this point. At this point, I guess I should say, in their levels. It's easy to run in Theater of the Mind. It can be very quick, but it can also be very satisfying because they get to actually use their complicated tools that they've accrued over all these levels.
About another 20 or so feet, and it's hot enough to stand, but it's getting really uncomfortable. And with Percival's light, you can see the bottom. Yes. You guys all land there at the bottom of the ocean. It's so dark that outside of Percival's light and the glow around you, you only see the outline of each other from the splashback of the light as he kind of projects it around from the front of the
Does anybody have any light?
I can light up my flame hands.
Or underwater.
Underwater.
But it's magic. I thought it doesn't matter.
I will say you get a little bit of there, and it's like fighting against it. It's a very faint glow. You can see where Keyleth is, but it doesn't add any light to the rest of this right now.
That seems fair. That seems fair.
We really need to like say stuff though because no one's gonna be able to understand us this one.
Do you see anything around us?
Make a perception check.
Yeah. I may join in on that since I have the flashlight. 28.
You guys both have disadvantage on this, by the way, because of the lack of visibility.
28.
Gannon, don't you have any like dancing lights or anything?
21.
I can make a fireball. I can make a fireball, but it'll probably go out really quick.
You don't like have a dancing light cantrip or some shit like that?
No.
All right. So you glancing down, you can see you guys are standing on what looks to be a rising kind of upward cone, the top of the volcano here at this point, where you can see all the ground below you is not, especially immediately around where the water and or at least the fume is gushing out, is porous dark rock. There's no soot. There's no soft surface that you hit. There's no usual bottom of the ocean you expect, that soft kind of sediment. Yeah, no sediment. It's just hard rock. The force of the vent seems to be pushing any of the sediment off, and it just descends slowly around you and then disappears into the darkness. You can see a number of small, strangely enough, with the heat of the surrounding area too, you can see little bursts of color within the porous rock. And with a quick glance of Vex, you can see there are what looks to be bits of plant life, like colorful pinks and purples that are kind of slowly like pulled into the porous rock on the outside of these vents.
Oh, cool.
You can see a very, very faint glow in a couple of places of the rock where it looks like there is still some sort of very, very hot, very slow pressurizing molten rock that is cooling slowly. It looks like there's this constant slow battle between the ocean water and whatever's forcing upward.
Do I see any? Do I see?
No, please.
It sickens me.
Are there any like other pockets other than the main pressure point that might be a smoother entry point?
Right now, like where it's emerging, these jets of extremely hot fume that are just building past you. It looks like there's just one concentrated opening at the moment. As you walk around, it looks like it's not one central column. It looks like there's a number of fissures that are like smaller fissures that are all clustered around this area, and it's just hard to see the separation because so much of it's just kind of mashing into one giant column as it emerges.
Okay.
Go into that thing?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. So it's like hot water and gas coming up.
Yes.
If I theoretically wanted to do a control water spell and like reverse the water inwards, could we like go in through one of these tunnels, through one of these fissures?
You can certainly try.
I hate that phrase.
I know.
Hey, you got the death ward. Go for it.
I'm more thinking for all of us. I don't know how else we're gonna get in.
Can you make yourself like a fire elemental and it won't damage you if you go? Or will water fuck with you?
Oh, water will fuck with you as a fire elemental.
Okay.
And we'll,
I could be a water elemental though.
You could.
Yeah.
Should we walk around the volcano? Is it massive?
You don't know because your visibility vanishes
right.
by about 40 feet away from you.
And we're just seeing like little glows in the distance.
You're seeing little glows within the actual areas where the fumes are spewing up, and
little bits are coming down?
well, you're seeing down where the smoke is emerging. Okay. You're seeing every now and then a faint glow that appears here and there.
Is there anything? Are the
Okay, this is a factor that is not similar to the Blades in the Dark example that I portrayed, which is that they are having to deal with multiple of these challenge layers at once. So they're having to deal with a lack of visibility, which also equals a lack of information. And they are also having to deal with the fire and the trouble communicating. Like, there's a lot of restrictions being placed on them all at once. Which, on one hand, can be very interesting in that you can get past multiple challenge layers at once, and you can require a lot of resource expenditure very, very quickly. But it can also result in that challenge, like every new layer you add to a singular challenge increases its difficulty and the time that it's going to take to complete substantially. Right. And there's always a standard deviation, I guess we might say, on how long any given challenge is going to take to solve, especially if it's an exploration challenge where you just probably need to do clever resource expenditure to handle. You can either solve those sorts of things very, very quickly, or they might take kind of forever and suck up way more resources than you as the GM initially intended. So stacking this many layers all at once, I think, increases the standard deviation a lot. It means that they could either solve it very, very quickly, and you as a GM could get a lot from that. Like, you get a lot of resource expenditure very quickly, which is awesome. As a GM, that's exactly what you want. Or all of these layers contribute and confound on top of each other to make it so that they either don't solve it or take way longer than you anticipated solving it, or take way more damage or drain way more resources than you expected solving it. So it increases the risk, I suppose, but it also increases the potential reward. So I'm interested in it, in this little, not trial, not experiment, but this test, I suppose. Do you know the lava rules offhand? Because I think even lava is survivable, too. It is. I mean, I know that one of them went into lava at some point. I don't know the lava rules offhand. I want to say that it's like 10d6 or something around there. But it's not that much. Like Grog could easily survive lava for at least a couple rounds. Grimsang, you're being a little much. All right, there. That's fine. You know, I know it's all a bit. It's just a little. Well, it's a little much. But sure, whatever. Vax went to the lava into the Underdark. Not sure if they used the right rules. Yeah, I also think there was a lava river in the Plane of Fire, but I don't remember if anyone ever actually went into the lava river. Yeah.
The faint glow is repetitive, like they're coming from the same place over and over again?
Yeah, looks like the glow is stationary. It's just the smoke obscuring as it passes by and occasionally gives you a glimpse.
Let's head towards the glow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It might
we're
be
looking
just
for
magma
tunnels.
coming out, though.
Yeah, there are
Yeah,
tunnels
but
that exist already.
Yeah.
It might just be magma. And also, if we see anything resembling an air bubble, then we know that something appropriate.
If we want to wait a few minutes, I could do a commune with nature.
Yeah, do that.
Oh, well.
That's
do that?
smart. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, underwater tea party, blah, 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 and do a commune with nature for a little bit and see if I can find, I get like 3 questions. I want to find any easy tunnels that might be going into man-made tunnels that aren't gonna make us alive.
Yeah.
But really,
Any danger?
Dude, I need to check something. The latency is way worse today. Like, I can just tell with, like, people responding directly to certain things. I can, like, certain things that I say, the gap between me saying them and seeing them is way longer. It feels like. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. It feels longer. Anyways, yeah, no, it seems like it's still on ultra low. Strange.
Dangerous creatures in the area.
Any dangerous creatures in the area. That's good.
The anvil.
In the anvil.
Yeah, solid. Good questions.
Okay.
Okay, because of the nature of this, the radius is limited to 300 feet because it's considered a somewhat underground, not out in the open setting. But
All right. Yeah. 300 feet.
all right, so you take a minute and concentrate beneath, and with that, all of a sudden, you feel your consciousness extend into rock and stone and the various forms of plant life that have made home around the outskirts of the top of this volcano's caldera. So your questions are:
Are there any man-made tunnels that will grant us access into the volcano without burning us alive?
And where are they?
And where are they?
That's 2 questions.
Well,
No.
ish.
Yeah,
No.
man-made is not important.
How about any tunnels?
Are there any tunnels getting into the volcano?
you feel the sense of the rock and the surrounding material guide your attention very focused into the center of where that fume is erupting.
So we gotta go to the top.
Okay.
Okay.
If the anvil is probably too far away at this point, what about these little?
300 feet.
It's probably not right here at the top. What about these little colorful planty things floating past us? Are they going to sting us and paralyze us?
Should we find out from nature how far down in the magma it is?
Yeah, what the location of the anvil is.
Oh, I'm afraid that 300 feet.
But
Might
maybe
not
it'll
be
know
enough.
how far away it is, even though it can only. Does it work that
We
way?
probably have to be within.
It's
300
like
feet
within
to
300
sense
feet,
it,
I can sense, I can like see the area.
Oh, okay.
said the fantasy heroes.
Yeah.
What about dangerous creatures?
Hostile creatures in the area.
Also creatures in the area?
Dangerous hostile creatures.
Okay,
How many more adjectives can I throw in there?
Pissy. Irritated creatures.
Bless you.
Starving.
Do harm, ill will.
Okay, so
Judgmental.
okay, trained bodies of water, prevalent plants, minerals, animals, or peoples, powerful celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, or undead. You do get a very faint sense of faint elemental movement. You're not quite sure what that pertains to specifically, but it is moving just outside the radius of your sphere of understanding here at the top of the volcano.
All right.
And it is moving slowly through rock.
There you go.
Through rock.
Okay.
Earth elemental.
All right. This is a nitpick. I want to put it out there right at the beginning. It's a nitpick. It doesn't really matter. It's because it's a pet peeve. So it doesn't matter. It annoys me when people say that you sense something just outside of your sense. When he's like, it's moving just outside of your sphere of influence or your sphere of sense that you can sense this. It's like, okay, well then how does she know? How does she sense it if it's just outside of her sense? Like if it was outside the range, I would know. It's like just on the edge. Just on the edge makes sense to me. Or just right at the edge of your, that's fine. And I just have to do like a little swap in my head of like, okay, because this is not even a Mattism. This is just a thing that people say sometimes. This is just like how people phrase things. And I hate it. And I don't know why. I think what he's trying to say is that you can sense it, but you aren't even sure what sense is picking things up. One of those uncanny feelings sort of things. I guess. I don't know. I guess. But it feels like when you're using a sixth sense already, and then he's like, it's outside of the sensory range. It's like, what does that mean? Obviously there is a sense, but it feels like there isn't. Yeah, sort of. I don't know.
We need to go in the top, yeah?
That's what I said. It's like a pet peeve. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It's just, it bothers me.
Or
I don't like it.
through rock. You can make tunnels, right?
I can make tunnels.
I would prefer to do that than go down the barrel of the shotgun, but that's just me.
Are we concerned if I start...
Travis, can you say that with your finger flapping on your mouth, please?
No.
Are we concerned if I start boring tunnels into the side of this? That magma and pressure will just start releasing out the
I'm
side?
just saying.
He's just saying.
Vax swims down towards the cone. And I think the last time I talked about the Deathwalker's board, I had set it to fire. So we'll say fire.
You've had all that time on the ship.
Resistant.
Resistant to.
Is my mantle helping with the heat?
Before 7.
Yeah, the heat isn't
Bothering me as much?
bothering you as much. It helps with extreme heat as a general weather type.
But if you die,
So, but like intensely dangerous heat, like fire or anything, it's not going to help you with that. So you just dive into the center.
Yeah, I forgot he's like a crash test dummy.
does
So you,
We'll worry about that later.
You watch as Vax just disappears into the liquid. The pressure is a lot. I need you to make an athletics check first.
Okay, that's
pressure
my
is
best
a
stat.
Yeah, because it's pumping.
Athletics.
Natural against water.
You swim down into the darkness, and it's just you're using your sense of balance.
Licorice blue. That's a very fair argument. That may have resolved my pet peeve, if I'm being real with you. I'd never thought about it that way. But that is a good point. That's a good point.
Try and keep
I think I just have to eat that one. That's fair.
tabs on what is up and what is down, because once you dive into the middle of this pillar, you see nothing. And you begin to just swim down, feeling for that where the gravity is pulling you and the force against you, and use that to get your bearings.
I know it's probably fuck all, but I'm going to pull out the flame tongue dagger and try to use it
You can
as a shitty
faintly
ass.
see a little bit of it there. You do take 3 points of fire damage as soon as you enter the water, reduced to 1. So you manage to push through and descend about 15 or so, 20 feet. Suffer another 6 points of fire damage, reduced to 3. I need you to make another athletics check, please.
Yeah.
As you're pushing further and further down.
My first luck of the day. Oh, not good. Same thing. Just a 6.
A 6. It begins to push you up. You lose a little bit of ground. You take another 1 point of fire damage. But you begin to make up, and you get partway down. You get another 40 or so feet down into it. You think still unable to really see anything. Occasionally, you see a glint of that light that you saw before, with a little bit of glow. You take another 3 points of fire damage, reduced to 1. It is a lot of heat.
Okay. We're going to talk more about Blades in the Dark. Buckle up. One of the things that I'm not loving about this, that this reminds me of, is the Symphior combat in the Minds of Many. Where we, during the escape from the Symphior fight, they just went up through the mines, and Matt was measuring their progress in terms of feet, but it wasn't clear for most of the time how many feet total they had to go, what rate they were traveling at, why they were traveling at that rate. It was just... It was, for all intents and purposes, I would say, a soft and cinematic sequence where it just needed a certain amount of rolls to get through. But we were communicating progress to the players in terms of feet, which I don't think are good for a softer cinematic sequence. It's where something like Blades in the Dark or Dagger Hearts, now obviously they didn't have Dagger Heart back now, or back then, but I think that a clock is a much more clear way to communicate progress to the players. So as they are progressing through something like this, having each roll fill a certain amount of spaces on a clock, and once they have filled up all spaces, then they are through the obstacle. I think that's a much, much more clear way to communicate to the players, especially when we're using non-standard movement. I might not have even thought about this too much had we not been swimming, because the moment he said you go about 15 feet and then you have to make another check, I was like, how fast does Vax move when he's swimming? Like that was my first thought was, is 15 feet right? I don't actually know. Like, and it doesn't even really matter whether 30 feet is correct or not, because, or whether 15 feet is correct or not, because I also don't know how long the distance that he has to travel is, right? I don't know if he has to go 100 feet through this. I don't know if he has to go 200 feet, right? There's no sense of progress that is derived from talking about how quickly he moves, right? Even half of Vax's movement would be more than 15, but 15 would be right for most other PCs. Sure. Yeah, if you don't have a number in mind, you should try to use more cinematic words. Right, and if he was saying, like, you travel 15 out of the 100 feet or something like that, give us that sense of progress. Or if there were facts or objects or locations or actors or entities within the scene where our range to them mattered, then maybe include the feet, right? Like, spells are measured in feet. Like, feet are important in 5e. But if you don't have an idea of how long this range is going to be, which I don't know that Matt does here. I think he's just kind of throwing out numbers, but he really just has a certain amount of checks in his head that Vax has to make here. I think using, like you said, Mr. Know-It-All, using more cinematic words or using a more clear communicational method like a clock. I think this is actually like maybe a perfect example of when I would recommend using a clock. I think a clock would be awesome here. I think it would serve the scene really, really well. But even if you're not going to use a clock, yeah, just more cinematic words. You're halfway through, you're a quarter, you're a third, 2/3, what have you. Yeah.
But you continue to push further, make another athletics check, the third one.
20 total.
20. Push it along.
The last one?
Still making your way down. You get probably another 80 or so feet before it seems to curve off a little bit to the side.
See, and before he made it 15 feet, now he makes it 80 feet. What does it mean?
The force of the water begins to shift a little bit. You take another 3 points of fire damage. You begin to see a faint bit of that glow that you were following earlier, and as you kind of head towards it, the heat gets more and more intense, and you begin to kind of push past some of the smoke, and you can see right there, it looks like there's just a glowing ember of rock, about maybe 5 or 6 feet wide, that is just molten rock that is slowly cooling as it's being pushed faintly out. But the force of the water curves off to the side, and you continue to swim away from where that glowing ember is, and following the path of where this push of water is. Take another 2 points of fire damage.
Just Ed Harris sinking down and down and down.
The temperature is not letting up. You were continue to swim, further down. Make another athletics check.
16.
Okay.
See, it's just like
you're slowing down.
We're just down. We're just down. We're just going down. We're down. How far are we? Who knows?
But you're still getting ground. You also take another 3 points of fire damage.
And I also said at the beginning, I was hoping that this wouldn't just turn into a series of checks. That is mostly what it has turned into. I think if you didn't want the players to solve it this way, like by just pushing through, make the damage higher. If you were okay with them potentially going through it this way, then we don't need all these. We don't need this sheer amount of checks. Honestly, kind of either way you phrase it or you look at it, I think I would personally opt for each of these moments being more damaging, just like doing more damage, but just having there be less of them. Because the overall effect would be the same. Like, you could still get the same average damage applied while just taking up less time. Like, there's nothing interesting about these checks. We don't need 5 of them. We could suffice with 2 that just did, triple the damage.
This is getting hard.
Yeah.
And even your form, you're getting a little tired.
Although,
going into this force, and you're not quite.
You know, the only thing I'll say, the only positive to it is that it is tedious. And if you don't want them to go down this route, making it very tedious is a way to discourage that. It's not my favorite way to discourage it, but I do have to be fair that it is a way to discourage it without needing to do a bunch of damage, is just by making it tedious and by making it not very successful and not very clear. Like, these are all ways to potentially dissuade players from doing it, but only because the experience is annoying at the table, which is not my favorite tactic. But it is a tactic, and it is a legitimate one. And, you know, especially for what Matt's about to say here, it seems that Matt is, I think, sort of implying now that this is not a great solution, right? With this is getting hard. I'm taking that to mean, like, maybe this is not the intended solution, and Vax is not just going to stumble upon the solution here by doing this.
It's getting hard.
Yeah.
And even your form, you're getting a little tired. Going into this force, and you're not quite sure where this is going to lead you, or you're not going to stumble across just like an opening where it's fine to walk. You're just continuing to swim down a superheated
volcano.
Okay, make another athletics check.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That is, like, pretty much directly saying, like, hey, this isn't gonna work. Like, you're just continuing to swim down. And it is interesting that he says you're not just gonna find an opening. Because I think I said towards the beginning of this, I think I almost directly said, like, maybe they'll just find an opening. So I was clearly thinking a similar thing to the players here, and it seems like Matt maybe had that thought as well, but is dismissing it or telling them not to consider it, essentially. You know, maybe if it's not gonna work, maybe I don't dislike it as much as I initially did. Because when I was talking about, you know, pump up the damage, less rolls, I was kind of assuming that it would work. That whole time. I kind of did just assume it would work. And if it's not gonna work, it is tedious, but sometimes you gotta be tedious with your players. My opinion is slowly changing the more I watch it. I'm really curious as to what the intended solution is. I think that'll help me dissect this part a little bit more, so we'll just keep watching, but my opinion isn't set in stone on this one. Maybe if it really is just like a bad way to do it, this isn't a terrible way to discourage them from that bad way.
Ooh, that's not.
I think my main hesitation in like liking it or calling it good is that I think it has a lot of dependency upon your players understanding that tedious repetition is a signal to not do something. Whereas we have an example with the Minds of Many, with the Symphior fight, you know, or the escape from Symphior fight, that Matt is willing to just make them roll over and over and over. Like, he's not in, and we also got it recently with the Ioun library, with the Endless Athenaeum, of like, Matt is not hesitant at all about just making them do a bunch of checks before they solve it. Like, sometimes a bunch of checks is just the solution to a map problem. So that's what I think makes me a little bit hesitant about him using it here. I don't actually think it's bad in a vacuum. I think it's not a terrible way to discourage action, is just to make that action tedious and ineffective and very minorly painful. But that ineffectiveness needs to be, I think, clear pretty quickly for at a table like Matt's, where he has used this sort of skill check challenge pretty frequently. If it's just a wall that damages you, it's great. That's that it's a lot of work. Yeah. I don't know. It'll really depend on what the solution actually ends up being. Yeah.
Good. That's a 7.
Okay. You get pushed back about 15 feet or so, and you take another 3 points of fire
I'll
damage.
just go with it up.
Okay. You're right up. Before you can get entirely out of the column, you take another 3 points of fire damage, and eventually emerge from the side of it. Uncomfortable,
Back
but
into warm piss water instead
yes.
of boiling hot.
Yeah, which comparatively is much more comfortable.
Yeah. Nope.
What'd you say?
I mean, you can't really understand me though, can they? Right? Like it's all.
I mean, we can
So we-
understand.
you can understand.
You have the earring on
The
it.
earring.
I'm not gonna do it. It goes forever. I think we need to look elsewhere. I don't think all of us are gonna make it down.
What
that
if I'm
fucking
controlling
tunnel.
the currents?
That
would
one gets
help.
us to where it's rock.
It was getting hot as hell down there. I don't know. I mean, maybe a quick look around the perimeter of this thing.
I didn't find anything.
Yeah, but it might be
300
worth
feet,
it.
it might be.
We don't even know what the core ramble looks like.
We have a broom.
We're not gonna muscle our way down.
It doesn't do anything, and it flies.
Does it not work underwater?
I don't think I can try,
I mean,
but it flies.
I mean, no.
you can certainly try.
Carpets.
Yeah, it'll just.
Percy, that's a question I never thought to ask. And I guess I don't see why it wouldn't. But also, the flying broom is strong enough as it is. We don't need it to also be able to have a 60-foot, essentially, swim speed.
Well, I think
It's really wet.
we're either druiding our way in or looking for another way in somehow.
Maybe we just try. Fuck, how long did that take?
I'd be happy with an idea. I have an idea.
Okay.
What if I could make us a tunnel straight down the middle? Would the heat kill us, or would the water tamp down the heat? Like if I could make like a 10-foot wide tunnel all the way through down.
With no water.
It might make another
The water
exhaust
would come
port
in
for
with
the
us.
heat in the water.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm afraid of the pressure.
The pressure of what? Once
The
it comes up, it
volcano.
becomes rock. Right? Oh, I see. There's more
You didn't see
underneath.
tunnels, right? You didn't see tunnels in the sides of the volcano.
You couldn't see anything. It was very dark.
We're not trying to go down. We're trying to find the tunnels.
What tunnels?
There are
There are
tunnels, down
tunnels
there.
here.
Both Percival and Scanlan make an intelligence check, please.
Just a straight
Just
intelligence
whatever
check.
you roll plus your intelligence modifier.
Ooh, okay. All right, we've reached the first level of they're not solving my puzzle fast enough. GM Cope. I've been there. I've been there many times. They're not solving my puzzle. Give me an intelligence check. It's, I think, one of the more obvious ways to go about providing assistance. But also, if you feel as the GM that the players are like forgetting a fact that you mentioned that their characters would remember, like, I don't remember any sort of indication about how to get into these tunnels. I have a feeling that might be what Matt's about to mention. Maybe there was something that I forgot and the players forgot that but gives an amount of guidance on how to solve this that they just sort of forgot about. Again, seems possible. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. It's depending on what he says here. Yeah. I didn't catch anything either. I was going to ask how you would have approached it. That's a good question, actually, before he reveals, because I'm pretty confident that this is going to be some sort of assistance. I recognize the tone, the intelligence check out of nowhere. Yeah, been there, done that. I do not blame him. I think it's not a position you want to be in as a GM. You want to try to prep to the point where you don't land yourself in this situation of your players just like not getting it. But, you know, if you are here, it's as good as any other strategy, at least like first port of call strategy. But anyways, how would I have approached it? Really depends on my class. But like, you know, if I'm one of these players with their kits at this table, it's probably, for me, go some distance away from Scald Seat. Use either Scanlan or Keyleth's magic to tunnel down or through until we find a tunnel or a cavern of gas. Because it seems like closer to Scald Seat, there are tunnels of lava, but we know from previously established conversation that there are tunnels of gas somewhere. We don't know exactly where, but they exist. So my sort of strategy, I think, would be to try to find the tunnels of gas with one of the mages. If that didn't work, shit, I don't know. I'd have to read their spells that they have access to. I'm not sure. If I'm Grog or if I'm Percy, I kind of don't know. I would probably be relying on the magic users a little bit here.
Was that 14? 14. On this discussion of burrowing deeper within, if there were any places where you could walk that were not completely filled with water per se, there would be, the minute that you exposed it, it would begin to fill with water, which means you'd have to think of a way to either plug it or just stay wherever water exists within the system beneath.
Right. And I don't know if we're trying to get to the inside of the volcano shaft.
Was that related to anything that they were talking about? Because we're not trying to go straight down. We're trying to find the tunnels. Oh, I guess it is sort of in response. Okay. It feels a little disconnected as a piece of advice, but I will say I don't know. It's hard to say when I don't know what the solution to the puzzle is, right? Or if there even was a planned solution. So it's hard to say. But that is an example of something that I try to avoid, which is just participating in the problem solving with the players. I also have a tendency to do it. Like, I want to be in with the players on the problem solving, but it does take away those moments from the players, and it also makes the entire thing easier because anything that you say as the GM, as part of that participation in the problem solving, is taken as true, right? You wouldn't give them information that isn't going to happen. If, say, Liam O'Brien said the exact same words that Matt just said, then the other players might say, oh, well, if we, did this or that, maybe it'd be different or what have you. Like, they might argue against it to an extent. Whereas here, they're not going to argue against Matt because Matt is correct. Like, he's the GM, so it's going to run how he thinks it's going to run. If they tunnel in, then the water would flow in, and they can be pretty sure that there's not going to be like an air pocket or something, like, because Matt just kind of said that there wouldn't be. I mean, he didn't say it exactly, but he gave information that can be taken as solid, right? So he's not participating in the same way that a player is participating in problem solving, and that can be degrading towards the satisfaction of your puzzles, right? Your puzzles, I think, are going to be more satisfying when you're not helping the players through. If Matt was just reminding them about something that they could have remembered but forgot, then I think that is kind of different than just presenting logical conclusions to them that, you know, maybe their characters would make, maybe they wouldn't, right? I think it can reduce the satisfaction of a puzzle quite a lot. So it's something that I would generally avoid, is that sort of like jumping in on the problem solving. I also have trouble not doing it. I also have that tendency to want to jump in on the problem solving and to, like, you know, ask for a check here and, like, ooh, maybe guide them in the right direction. Like, I want to do that too, but I think it's one of those things that you have to show, or that you have to have a level of self-restraint on. Kind of sucks, but
stay wherever water.
That's just the nature of GMing.
Exists within the system beneath.
Right, and I don't know if we're trying to get to the inside of the volcano shaft.
Our water breathing lasts for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Let's roll around a little bit, see if we can see
Maybe we
anything
can
else.
like go around the perimeter and see if we can find some sort of entrance, some magical looking entrance.
Scanlan, you're burrowing.
Mm-hmm.
What means are you using for that?
Magic?
Touche.
Sorry, Miley Cyrus.
There's a chance the core anvil could be made of molten rock, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that says it's like a not dangerous, totally cool to be around piece of thing.
I have a feeling that's exactly what it is. It's gonna suck working around that thing. Sorry.
I'm not worried about it.
It's fun.
But we gotta find whatever it is. We don't even know what it looks like.
Do you know, Percival, what it looks like? Did you see it in your mind's eye?
No.
What about you?
You only have the construct of the actual Tremel, not the anvil.
Yeah, when I was getting the upload from Morpheus, did I see what the core
Did you
anvil
see
might
yourself,
look
like,
like? Or
covered
was it
in,
just
like,
like, I'm just
grime?
hammering and like
No, it was-
Rambo 2
it was-
Montage music is playing?
More that.
Okay.
Scanlan.
Yes.
Okay. Can we tag team this?
All right, I can be a burrowing monster.
Okay. What if you burrow and I do like push the water away,
Is that
and
a
then
spell?
you control water. I can push it away, and if you do that, and maybe we can all get in, and then maybe I can throw up a wall.
All right, I can burrow. You can deflect water and stuff.
It through the mountain, through the volcano.
Through, yeah.
Instead of down the top like he just did.
Whatever you
Okay,
want.
from the side.
Or I can try and control the currents and suck us all right through down the top.
I kind of like control the currents. I don't know.
How? But the currents can't go down because stuff is coming out. No.
I control water as part of control water. I can
You can't
reverse
control
the currents.
the lava coming up.
It's not
No,
lava. It's
it's
just
water and gas and pressure.
Oh, it's just gas. It's not.
It's
lava.
really, really hot.
You're
It's
also
really
part
hot.
water, don't forget, as part of this too.
Huh?
You're also part water.
part water.
I can also part water, like fucking Moses.
Or redirect flow, or create a whirpole. These are all things you can do.
Okay,
Let's try it.
I'm waiting to get to Kim Carnes. I'm really excited.
What were you thinking? Were you thinking of umbersilling this shit? Were you going to black dragon?
I was
dig
going
your
to
way
become
down?
a purple worm.
A purple worm.
They're excellent at burrowing and are big and could make a big tunnel.
Are they resistant to water and heat?
No, but they're stacked with hit points.
That would be one of your top level spells, yeah.
The toppest.
Well, let's not do that just yet.
All right.
Let's control
Yeah,
current and
Kiki,
see if we can
let's try tapping
do
nature.
it.
All right.
With some light this time. Hmm?
I'll also say,
Walk the perimeter.
see what happens.
Okay.
All right, so
We
always
can still
excited
walk
when-
the perimeter if you want.
We got 20, a little under 24 hours.
Yeah.
Fuck it,
We
let's
can
look.
walk the perimeter.
Do a little walk perimeter, and then we're ready. We're going to jump down, and we'll very quickly.
Okay, so you guys are going to make your way around, kind of spiraling the outside of this.
Looking, using the light.
Okay.
Things out.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for other expelling gases, interesting plant growth, lights.
Friend and enter.
Anything that looks not natural.
Caves. Okay.
Everyone who's looking to make an investigation check.
Investigation. Natural 20.
Yes.
Oh, -2. 17.
Well,
14.
it doesn't matter because
18,
she just
but
got a really
not
good 10.
You're rolling like
All right.
a beast tonight.
No.
As you guys are
that
glancing about
water.
over the next like 10, 15 or so minutes, just swimming around and keeping an eye out there, Keyleth, with your glowing hands and kind of like cruising across as you head down, you
Feeling
find
currents.
you can feel a couple of other small changes in the current. Less of a fume release, more than there is a warmer area of water in a small area, and you find there is a pressurized jet of just water coming out of one side, one section, about 25, 30 feet down on the side.
How big is the jet?
I think about 3 feet long on one side, about a foot long on the other. It's kind of a fissure.
A fissure.
So we get through it.
Yeah, can Grog fit?
No.
Okay.
But
Can trinket fit?
3 feet.
No, trinket or grog, neither of them can fit. Damn. Most of you guys have to squeeze through, and it's as hot as the water that was coming up.
Is it made out of stone? Is this can I call this earth? Can I call this rock?
It's considered rock. It's volcanic rock.
So move earth would not work.
Oh, we can
Let me look at the spell real fast.
Yeah, grog can punch.
You are bad. You're good at destroying structures.
I think move earth could like explicitly doesn't work on rock. I think it has to be like loose like dirt. Or maybe it does work on rock. I honestly don't remember the text of the spell. It is interesting that the solution seems to be related to just looking around a bit, which is very interesting. It's very interesting, and I don't want to give too much of an opinion on it yet, because I'm not totally sure how I feel about it. It'll depend on what's inside. But I'm leaning positive, even though I think typically I would lean negative, but I'm leaning positive so far.
You're gonna punch a volcano?
Dirt, sand, or clay. So I'm gonna say no.
I wasn't sold on the idea until you
Transmute the rock into dirt or sand to give us a
volcano.
If you have the means of doing that, you could.
I had transmute rock.
Then
Or we could let Grog go first.
Let's grog punch a volcano.
no punch a volcano.
kind of.
Teach it to say your name.
Roll a strength check.
It'd be like punching a steering wheel.
Don't you get advantage
I
because
do.
Who's your daddy?
Only if I'm raging.
I'll give you advantage on this because
I'm trying to remember.
Because volcano punch.
volcano punch.
Hey! Plus, 26.
And because your gauntlets, don't you get advantage because your gauntlets?
Well, again, no, they also give advantage, but they do give him siege, which means double damage
double
against
damage,
structures. Now consider this a natural structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you rear back, and as you do, you guys watch as a couple of the kind of the you haven't really watched him use this type of power in the dark before, and you watch as the faint bit of a few yellow runes kind of glow as he pulls back and then slams into the side. You watch his rock breaks and kind of bits of the volcanic rock break off and begin to tumble down the sides. He punches again and punches again. As you do, watch the water flow. You feel the warmth come up. You immediately take 6 points of fire damage from the heated jet in front of you. But as you slam it one more time, part of it kind of gives away underneath as one side of it begins to jet up. You watch as looks like there is some sort of what look to be a gap or some sort of an air pocket that collapses inward, and the water begins to fill it
No,
immediately.
it's getting quick, and then cover it.
Yeah.
We go fast.
Go
in.
You go, okay, you guys are all fighting against the current.
Well, did you
Okay.
say there was an air pocket?
Well, there was an air pocket that you saw, but like the stone as he punched it in, as soon as it collapsed inward,
Well, and how would it? Why would they need to fight the current? Aren't they getting in? The current would bring them. No, right?
it was away from where the jet was. It's a very interesting thing to try and describe here in a theater of mind scenario.
It is confusing. It is. Yeah.
Trying to go through an outward jet to this caved-in air pocket.
Yeah,
is what
essentially,
you're
you've
saying.
opened up where the jet is. Its strength has kind of diminished a little bit at the surface at this point, and you've watched as you punch, and it'll be another like almost a chamber below that was an air chamber collapse inward. Ocean water is just rushing into it right now.
Okay, let me control water
Okay, so
with
you
the
can-
current, and can I redirect the current up and around us to allow us to get in?
Okay, so control water. Bless you. Control water takes it's an action to cast. So as soon as that happens, you watch that. You finish the spell, and as the ocean water begins to rush in, it immediately pulls back out, and you can actually stop the current that's blowing upward, and the heated water now is held in place. And you can look down below. The water is just this slightly shimmering barrier, and there is what looks to be a small air-filled chamber below.
Okay, yeah, I'm pushing the water, kind of parting it, giving us a little.
Can we fit through whatever hole there is?
Actually, looking down inside, it looks to be roughly 20 or so feet wide on almost any other side, and it looks to be there's a small still pool that is just there on the ground. It's a small air pocket. That's
Yeah, I
filled.
go in after him.
Okay, you all rush inside there. You land past it, and it's about a 15-foot drop. You all land on your feet or like stumble off to one side and catch yourself, but you're now in this chamber beneath.
And the only thing keeping the water from rushing in here is Keyleth?
Keyleth currently, yeah.
But she can. I like how everything is like, Keyleth can do this.
Sure is, man.
Wall it off with.
Yeah.
But not while casting this spell.
No, she'll drop
Like
it and go.
instant.
All right. Push the water, wall of stone, poof.
As soon as the water pushes away, it begins to pull back, and immediately you can hear the rush of the ocean suddenly oppressively darting downward to fill the space where you are. And then with that, you watch as volcanic stone stretches out and slams shut. You're now in a pitch black
Cheers,
room.
Grog.
I have a light.
Except for the
Little red
surface of his light and the glowing of Keyleth's hands.
Yay, which are brighter now because it's not in water.
Mids.
Oh, my ear popped.
That was
That
amazing.
was fucking sick.
Yeah, you punched a volcano.
You did not.
I heard it say
Well, versus the volcano.
Here's an interesting bit. As you guys have this conversation,
Uh-oh.
you're talking, and sounds are happening, everything's fine, but breath is hard.
Oh, oxygen.
Air pocket.
Or poison?
Air pocket.
All of the air in here is poison. There is no oxygen in this room.
Oh, cool.
There is that pool of water in the center, about maybe like 4 foot wide, and you can see it's kind of bubbling a bit, like whatever the fume is that's filled the space here. As it,
I'm going to put my
How
face in
does
it.
Hero's
Yeah.
Feast factor into this? Hero's Feast, doesn't that count as
dying.
poison?
you're not poisoned. You're not having toxic shock and dying right now, but you just cannot. But you're suffocating. at the moment.
I'm going to put my face in the water and breathe.
It's not affecting you. You're fine.
Oh, because you don't breathe.
You're already dead.
Weirdo.
Yeah, put your face in the water and breathe.
I'm putting my face in the water and attempting to take a breath.
It's the bubbling of air there is the same fume here.
There's no. I'm just trying to use the water breath.
Oh, the water breath itself?
but it's
Oh,
water.
I just want to with the water breathing?
Yeah.
The water you can breathe.
Okay.
Oh, great. So anytime we need a breath, we just breathe. Okay.
We might start getting a little loopy if we stay out here for too long.
Okay.
Don't breathe.
Vex, will you look for...
I mean, we saw this coming. Yeah. You know, I think I'm into it. I'm not always, and I think like by default, I lean away from things where there is kind of no indication that they exist. The players just have to look for them. So, for example, something like a secret door, where to find, like in an old like D&D module, sometimes you would have to just like check a certain portion of the wall. It would be like, oh, I want to check the south wall for secret doors, right? And that was how you would find secret doors. You just had to do the action. And that is similar to what's going on here. They just have to say, we look around, and then they find it. And I'm not always in... I generally lean away from that sort of thing. However, I'm more leaning away from it if it is something optional, like a secret door, or if it is something that is like that they aren't actively looking for, right? If they aren't actively looking for it, but they would have to say something specific to find it, I find that bad. I find that bad. But in this case, where they're just looking for a way in, that's all they're doing, having to say the specific thing to find the way in isn't as bad. And when it's as easy as just, you need to look around the entire volcano, you just have to like kind of, do a ring around and then you find it, that's not that hard to find either. It's a lot easier than something like, I check the south wall for secret doors. And so it's a lot more likely to happen. And when it does show the players, it's a pretty immediate sign to them that they won't just be able to take the most direct head-on approach to this, right? That they will need to put their thinking caps on, that they will need to look at things that are not just shown to them. They're not just like presented in front of their face. Because, we had this very first obstacle actually wind up being fairly simple. They just had to not slam their head into the first thing that they find. And I think I like it even more. Like, I think I like it for this situation in general, and I think I kind of like the way that Matt actually set it up. And I think I like it even more for a table like Vox Machina. Like, if I was at my own table, it might be a little bit different. But my own table is kind of obsessed with not slamming their heads into the first thing that they see. They're kind of obsessed with, like, getting the full scope of everything. They're, like, real big completionists. And so, for my type of table, this would just be kind of annoying, I think. Or it wouldn't even, like, really come up in this context because the first thing they would have done is look around, right? But for Matt's table, it's a decent thing to put as basically the gateway into this dungeon. When they have a tendency to just slam their head into the first thing that they see, displaying the first thing that they see as a thing that will waste their time and slowly drain their resources is a pretty clear message to me, at least. The message is, if you just slam your head without thinking into the first thing you see, it will waste your time, it will be very boring, and that's it. That's it. It'll be boring and you'll waste resources and time. So I do think all in all I'm into it. I can't believe they didn't think about the fact that they wouldn't be able to breathe. I'm surprised that they didn't just let the water come in. And I was about to take a little bit I was about to be a little bit of a pedant, I'll be real with you, about the idea of the types of walls that Keyleth can create standing up to the pressure of the ocean. But I'll also be real with you, I'm kind of mean sometimes as the GM. I love giving my players what they want, and I love even more, like, to maybe a little bit of a sadistic degree, if they ask or want for something that is actually bad for them. It is catnip to me. It is absolute catnip when the players all unanimously agree that they want something that I know is bad for them. No, Mega, you go so easy on your players, we can tell, yeah? I don't know. So from that perspective, it's like I hear Keyleth say, no, we don't want any more water in here, please. When water is like, they can actually breathe in the water and they can't breathe in the air. Like, that is just, that's just beautiful to me. Of course I'm letting the wall hold back the ocean. It's just like an intuition thing on whether or not you think it would be doable, you know? So I'm absolutely going to allow it because that's what they wanted, and oops, it made everything harder. Uh-oh. What a cruel trick. If Travis hadn't said anything, they would have purple wormed it. It would have been crazy had they purple wormed it. You'd think they couldn't breathe that water. Wouldn't it be saturated with the toxic gas? My implication is that this water has come in from the outside. So it's like the water came in as they're all coming in, and then she locked it off behind them. So, oh shit, I accidentally highlighted someone's thing. So that water is not saturated with the toxic gas, although it probably will become so soon. And I would argue that is that may or may not affect things. I don't know. It would have to be a ruling I would have to make at the table as to whether or not that would be an issue. I would say that water breathing is magic, so it probably just allows you to actually breathe water, not just like get oxygen out of water. But also, like, what is breathing water? Breathing water is just getting oxygen out of water. That's how gills work. So if there's no oxygen in the water, but actually, how do gills work? Can you have water that is saturated to the point where fish can't breathe? Like, you can saturate water to the point where it's toxic to fish, but is that because they suffocate or because of it's just toxic? Like it just like does other things to them, like smog. Like smog. You can suffocate fish? Interesting. By definition, you can't have water without oxygen. Well, that's where my mind was going, Ross, is like, well, water is H2O, but I don't actually know how like a gill works. Does a gill actually work by like separating water into hydrogen and oxygen? Or does it work by some other mechanism that somehow like pulls oxygen out of it without actually breaking down the molecule? I don't know how gills work. I don't know how biology works. That is the area of life that I know the least about and want to learn the least about. It's magic. And I'm not a wizard. I'm a warlock. I don't want to do the nerd shit to find out how biology and anatomy and chemistry work. That shit's for wizards. Not for me. No thank you. No mega biology is so cool. I want to have control over biology, but by cheating. I don't want to learn about all that shit. It's boring. Bleh, nerd shit. Take your books and leave, wizard. I've got my sugar daddy to teach me about biology.
Anything that looks like a core envelope, and I stick my face like
I take a breath and I start looking for a door any way out of this.
I've got the light.
Out of
I'm gonna open the light.
Investigation check.
Flame tongue daggers out so I can see the
Just look like
non-water portion.
Ass in the air, head in the water.
18.
18. You go in and take a breath, and you look down below, especially with the light and the light that's going around. You can see where this is happening. This little bit of pool is another small tube that just descends further and curves away out of sight.
Is it wide enough for all of us to fit through?
Well, from what you can see before it curves off, it looks like it could probably fit everybody.
Hey, there's a tunnel down there.
Really? All right.
How do we get there?
I'm going to tap the light into it and take a look down.
Okay. Looking down, it does. It's a curvature off. There's
Also, maybe they established this above the table. I kind of get the feeling that they didn't, but we'll see. How long can they breathe? How long can they breathe without a breath of air? That might be defined somewhere. I don't think in the PHP, but maybe in the DMG. I have a feeling it is defined somewhere. I just don't remember. I want to say it's like 10 minutes or something crazy in my memory. Because I can remember a suffocation rule. 1 minute per con mod. Oh, okay, more reasonable than I thought. Fair enough. That's the sort of thing that, especially when I would argue it's been implied through previous sessions, like the fact that they were going to have these tunnels filled with gas, etc., etc. I would message my players the rules before the session. Like they were heading towards a combat that they had no idea that was going to happen, that was going to involve jumping, and I sent them the jump rules ahead of time. And they were all like, "Why do we need these?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. Just know it." But it is I just totally lost my train of thought. Grim saying, if you can try to be just even remotely on topic, because honestly, I might need to like time you out just because it's so off topic that I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck are they saying? And then I totally lost my train of thought. Even if it's weird, just a little weird about the thing that we're talking about. I like having weird little people in my chat. That's fine with me. But I just need to be a little bit more focused for my ADHD brain. Otherwise, I'm going to be all over the place. I'm already all over the place today. I get that, Ross. Yeah. I mean, wizards are pretty skinny, so I could shove a couple in one longer. True. Totally should just print out that section as a specific handout for the session. Yes, right. We were talking about giving them the rules ahead of time. Yes. It's just the sort of thing that I would want them not to have to calculate during the middle. I don't want them to have to learn about it during the middle. If you're going to use I don't want to say a non-standard rule, but a rule that doesn't come up very often, I think just send it to them beforehand. Even if it, like, ruins it or whatever. I don't think it's going to ruin it, but even if it, like, you know, there's a surprise element, unless you are really, really trying to surprise them with something. And that's like a really important factor of it. Just send them the rule ahead of time. Or even if you want to surprise them, have the rule ready to go once you kind of deliver it to them and be like, doop, here's a note card with the rule on it. I've pre-calculated it for all of you. Yeah. One of these... You know... I gotta give it to you, Crim, saying that was a little bit more on topic, so you're trying. They know they were going underwater. This would spoil nothing. Oh, yeah. Like, in this particular circumstance, I think give it the rule to them well ahead of time. But even if surprise was a factor, at least have it printed out. It's just one of the things that's going to make everything a little bit more clear, run a little bit faster. You know, it's not a huge deal, but it's one of the stacking things that will go towards making the sessions run smoother and quicker and better.
It looks like at one point there was some sort of an escape, or at least that jet that you originally found earlier. Part of it got locked off, and while the jet of water continued, the opening here kind of got covered with some sort of liquid rock, and it created this pocket. But you can swim down there, and who knows where it leads, but it does not appear to have any sort of a forceful jet or any...
So we are... It's a tube.
It's a tube that
We're
goes
in
down
one of the cow's stomachs, but there's maybe
Essentially,
more. Okay.
Control water lasts up to 10 minutes, so if we want to commit to this, I can help jettison us there.
You have to cast it again, though, because you lost concentration.
Why?
Because you made a wall stone.
You made the wall stone.
We decided early on that wall stone was instantaneous and permanent.
It's permanent concentration. Yeah, okay, I'll let you go with that.
Oh.
Because it wasn't Pathfinder.
Yeah, we want to get rid of the water, though, because that's what's allowing us to breathe.
House ruling it. No,
We know
the
house
water
rule.
just happens. Us breathing water is good for 24
But
hours.
if you get rid of the water, then we
That's what we're breathing.
Yeah, but it's all poison water. But
Oh, no.
jettison it.
I'm gonna control water. I'm gonna jettison it with the current.
Okay,
I'm gonna keep it
go for it.
Okay, now we're just random
Let's
actors.
take it a little slow because we don't know what we're coming up to, though. I don't want to jump full force into you know.
It'll be like Lazy River.
Something like that. Lead the way, Don.
Well, how the spell works is if you maintain concentration for the whole duration, it becomes permanent.
For the whole duration.
For the whole duration, just 10 minutes.
But I haven't done that because I've already jettisoned this one water. And then now I'm trying
It's
to use the
fine. We
remaining.
don't even
It's
need
fine.
it now,
It's fine.
so
Don't worry about it.
let's just go in the water.
Okay.
Okay. I follow him.
Okay, so you guys begin making your
I
way.
mean, yeah, the thing, it's a fair correction from Matt, but also they are like, it doesn't seem like time actually matters if they can just breathe in the water, so.
Percy should technically be
Go
up front
first.
because he's got
Go
light.
first. I'll
So
hop in the boat.
Percival goes first, followed by Vax, then Vex,
Me in the
then
middle.
Grog. Is Trinket still swimming along with you?
Trinket's behind Grog.
All right, and then that's Scanlan and Keyleth at the very end. All right, you guys dive past into the water. It curves, and you can see there's a faint light source in the distance. It curves. This curves below. It splinters downward and then curves up slightly, and that's where the light source is coming from.
Yeah, of course. Air pocket.
I'm gonna go stealth.
Yeah.
Make a stealth check.
Yeah.
Do your Navy SEAL shit.
That's
Ooh,
fine.
that's good.
Come out of the water, eyes open.
I know, like.
34.
Wearing seaweed.
34.
All right, you think you're pretty stuffed.
Oh,
I think
shit.
I'm pretty stuff.
I
Okay.
think you're pretty stuffed.
All right.
I like the way you said
I
that.
know.
Go upward.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to say.
As you get up, you see a familiar orangish red glow, and as you see the surface of water above you, as another looks like an air pocket, you emerge, look about, and it looks like there is another tunnel here. But there's a faint glow. It looks like there are small veins of cooling volcanic rock in this area, and the tunnel continues. Like actually, it's like a ground you can walk on that continues down and curves out of the way.
Like the walls are cooling.
I just turn to the group and I'm gonna.
Can you see by the light of the magma?
You can see fairly with your elven vision, yeah, and with your dagger. So yeah, you begin to walk on the surface. The surface is cooled, and it's very, very hot in here, but not painfully so like when you dove into the caldera itself. You walk down about 10 or 15 feet, and you see it's now breaking off in various directions. You can see small pockets where it closes off, areas where it looks like whatever air or gases were trapped up when parts of the volcano would expand and pressurize upward. It would trap these areas, but you see areas where liquid rock are like spilling into and creating small pools, and it continues to descend almost like a curved spiral around the way.
So there's a walkway, but there's also lava,
Very faint trickles, looking like
little tiny bits.
and cool slowly.
We're
on
going
the
about
floor.
20 feet at this point, is that
Yeah.
right? I am going to go around the bend.
Okay.
Continuing quietly.
You go around the bend, and you can hear faintly what sounds like the rushing of water muffled. You're not that far away, you gather from just spatial awareness as to where the the heavy pressure of the water that was forced upward. You can just faintly feel the vibration. But as you curve away, it gets dimmer and dimmer as you spiral off further away from the center of this volcano. And as it continues to spiral downward, this natural air pocket cavern, it splits again into a small opening where it's just settled, faintly orange glowing with spots of black molten rock as it's slowly cooling.
Split, you were saying?
Like the path curves around the way and it splits into 2 pockets.
Yeah. 2 pockets of the cooling rock. I appreciate that Matt is wants to do this all in theater of the mind. At least I this has been so planned for so long that I have to imagine that this is all planned, like none of it's improv. And it's quite confusing. I can't lie. And I think see what he was trying to go for. Like, when you're doing theater of the mind, I think it is best to give each new area a very distinct feature. Ideally, a very distinct aesthetic. Like, you want each new scene where they have to, like, take in and, like, care about, like, the surroundings, or they have to move through it, or they have to interact with it, right? You want it to have a very different aesthetic than the previous one. And ideally, you want, like, all of the party to be present together when you switch scenes, but that's not always feasible, so I don't blame him there. But I kind of see that here of, like, there was the empty cavern with a pool, and then there was another empty cavern with veins on the wall, and then that cavern somehow, either by, like, a tunnel or it splits or something happens and it kind of turns into a different cavern that I think just have, like, blotches of magma. Like, it feels like Matt is trying to put distinct features into these little caverns, but the problem is that none of the caverns themselves actually matter. Like, they're not doing anything inside of them. They're just going from one to the other. And the features that they have are not distinct enough to actually leave a distinct impression. Like, if the first one was full of mushrooms and then the second one was full of lava veins or what have you, like, then there's you know, okay, this is mushroom room, this is lava room, right? Like, those are very different, but it's just like, this is lava room 1, this is lava room 2, but they're just lava configured differently. That's a lot harder to, like, I think, keep straight in the head. I'm having trouble keeping straight of, like, how this is mentally being mapped. And it's because nothing has actually happened. Like, we don't have any reason that any of these configurations matter in any way. So it's even harder to keep track of. Yeah. Do not wait. I think the veins were meant to be the connecting tunnels. No, I don't think so. I think there was just a room that had cooling veins of magma on the wall. I believe. Honestly, I might just rewind to try and get more of what's going on here, because I am not super clear on it, honestly. So, okay. So he's going stealth.
I
Shit.
think I'm pretty stealth.
I think you're pretty stealth.
All right.
And he was...
I like what he said that.
I know.
Go upward, yeah. Okay.
I was just gonna say.
As you get up, you see a familiar orangish red glow, and as you see the surface of water above you, as another, looks like an air pocket, you emerge, look about, and it looks like there is another tunnel here. But there's a faint glow. It looks like there are small veins of...
So, okay, actually, sorry, my bad. He's in a tunnel, but it's an air pocket. It's an air pocket in a tunnel. So it's not like a cavern. It's the same size as the tunnel he was in. It's just has air instead of water. But and then it has these veins of cooling volcanic rock.
Cooling volcanic rock in this area, and the tunnel continues. Actually, it's like a ground you can walk on that continues down and curves out of the way.
Like the walls are cooling.
I just turn to the group and I'm gonna.
Can you see by the light of the magma?
You can see cooled.
And so then he just.
It's very, very hot in here, but not painfully so.
So then he just walks through the tunnel until he gets to a cavern. Okay. As a volcanologist, Matt has perfectly described volcano tunnels. I don't even care if he's described volcano tunnels accurately. I just need him to describe it in a way to where I can keep them all straight in my head, you know?
Like when you dove into the caldera itself. You walk down about 10 or 15 feet, and you see it's now breaking off in various directions. You can see small pockets where it closes off, areas where it looks like whatever air or gases were trapped up when parts of the volcano would expand and pressurize upward. It would trap these areas, but you see areas where liquid rock are like spilling into and creating small pools.
Yeah, and this is all just aesthetic. He's like, you see it breaking off into various places. It's like, okay, well, freaking where? How many? What are our options here, right? This is... It's fine. It's fine narrative for something like a book or like a script for a movie or a TV show. When the person that describes the actions of the characters has the exact same knowledge of the area as the person that described the area. I think it breaks down in a TTRPG like this because they don't, right? So Matt is describing this area and he has perfect knowledge of it, right? When he says that it just branches off into various directions, he has a very distinct idea of what that means and like what options that presents to the characters. But the players don't have that same perfect idea, right? They actually need more details that would not be necessary in something like a book or a movie. And in fact, would probably bog down a book or a movie were they to be included, right? You wouldn't want details about exactly how many branching paths there are, or like, especially if the characters aren't gonna take one. Right, you don't want all of that outwardly described in a TV show, a book, whatever. That's much too what's the word? Not didactic. I can't remember the literary critique word for it. But it's too descriptive. It's too descriptive. It's too literally descriptive. But in a TTRPG, you need that literal descriptiveness, especially if you're keeping it explicitly theater of the mind. Yeah. You try to go down a tunnel, but hit the game wall of nope, game graphics do not continue. Yeah, it's a good point of like, a video game doesn't have to deal with this either. Like, but you don't want that experience in a TTRPG because then it makes it feel like a video game. Yeah. And
it continues to descend, almost like a curved spiral around the way.
So there's a walkway, but there's also lava.
Very faint trickles, like
little tiny bits.
Like, I honestly think a lot of the prep of all of this is interesting theater of the mind prep. Is there like interesting environmental prep, but he's having a lot of trouble, it seems, communicating it to the players. I think an easy whiteboard might assist here. Just like a very basic whiteboarding sketch or diagram of like where things are happening. I think that would be useful. I don't think they would do it. It's a little bit too home game, I think, for them to do at this point. I would love to be wrong about that. I pray that they whip out a whiteboard in campaign 2. That'd be awesome. But I think they're a little bit above it at this point, unfortunately. But I think a whiteboard would go a long way here, and also just even if it doesn't make as much sense, a little bit more visual aesthetic difference between the various areas would also work, and just kind of bringing the characters through, right? He is waiting for the characters to make every single move even in totally uninteresting areas, like he would if they were doing a normal dungeon crawl where they had a hex map or a grid out in front of them, right? This sounds like when they were in Gat Shadow in Umbrasil's lair, and they were kind of moving through it like that. Like, I'm getting the same amount of like hands off from Matt, and I think Theater of the Mind demands a different type of involvement and a different type of narration from something like that gridded dungeon exploration. You need a little bit more. You need the DM to guide you through to the interesting parts more explicitly, and to skip the uninteresting parts more explicitly. But what are you gonna do? I feel like Matt has a clear vision, and Theater of the Mind is bogging down his vision. I think a little bit. Yeah. Victor Hugo would disagree. Victor Hugo. Is that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or is that Les Mis? I can't recall. I haven't read Les Mis, so I can't specify it from there. Also, thank you for the 19 months negative view. Thank you. I appreciate it. Victor Hugo's book is huge. Like it's named Huge, Huge. I'm gonna say that grabbing a piece of paper and pencil really helps Theater of the Mind. I agree. Yeah. Victor Hugo is Les Mis and Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, okay. I did not. I mean, I've been in Les Mis, but I have not read it. So I can't comment on how much he would or wouldn't disagree. But if you're using pen and paper, is it still Theater of the Mind? Yeah. DDRPGs are pen and paper role-playing games. Always. Whether or not you draw out a diagram. I guess we could say it's varying. Or maybe what I'll say is it's a scale. It's a gradient. It is one end to the other of fully no Theater of the Mind to fully all Theater of the Mind. And there's a big gradient between there. I think that drawing out a little diagram on a whiteboard is maybe one step towards the side of I guess I don't know what the opposite of Theater of the Mind would be. I guess just fully gridded. It's one step towards gridded, but I still think it's very firmly in the Theater of the Mind area. Yeah. You have to get past to page 100 to even get to Jean Valjean. Damn. I like big books. How many pages is it? I'm curious. I read Pillars of the Earth was awesome. It's a big book. What else? I mean, I'm literally I'm reading the third book of this right now. This is just the first one that was on my shelf. How many pages is this? I actually don't know. 514. So it's not a 1,000-page monster, but this is great. Heavy recommend. I'm on the third book of the trilogy right now. This is the first. It's called Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. Big recommend. As long as you're okay with violence. It's the best, most interesting use of violence that I've ever read or witnessed. And I'm someone who thought that, The Boys was a little bit too self-indulgent. I think it was a little bit... It kind of got off on its own violence a little bit too much. This is similarly unabashed about being violent, but it does not revel in it at all. In fact, it almost does the opposite. It's kind of disgusted at every moment of violence that it portrays in a really cool way. Also has one of the best book 2 ends I've read. Really, really great. Anyways, Hey, no spoilers for me, okay? But like, seriously though, is this him watching this series in real time? Yeah, man, that's what it is. I love the incredulity. The incredulity, you know, I might have been defensive about it towards the beginning of this series, but I'm almost done with campaign 1, man. I got nothing to be defensive about. This is what it is. This is what I did. Yeah, no, it's all in real time. It's, we've watched 106 episodes so far at about this pace. There's a wealth of content to explore if you would like. Yeah. Remember when we all sorry. Oh no, not the spoilers. Actually don't spoil, but I don't think you were. No, man. It's it's so weird being so close to the end. I like almost don't even know what to think. Being so close to the end of campaign 1. It's been such like a long off goal for so long that it's like, holy shit, it'll happen this year? That's crazy. For the vast majority of this series, it was like man, this is not gonna happen for at least another year. And now it's like, oh shit, it could like finish this year, like pretty soon actually. Anyways. Let's make it happen.
And cool slowly.
We've gone about 20 feet at this point, so right? I am going to go around the bend.
Okay.
Continue quietly.
You go around the bend, and you can hear faintly what sounds like the rushing of water muffled. You're not that far away, you gather from just spatial awareness as to where the heavy pressure of the water that was forced upward, you can just faintly feel the vibration. But as you curve away, it gets dimmer and dimmer as you spiral off further away from the center of this volcano. And as it continues to spiral downward, this natural air pocket cavern, it splits again into a small opening where it's just settled, faintly orange glowing with spots of black molten rock. Is it slowly cooling?
Split, you were saying?
Like the path curves around the way, and it splits into 2 pockets of this cooling rock, and then maybe about a 5 foot leap to continue downward.
Over lava.
Your favorite?
So bad at it.
I don't know.
I'm going to double back to the group.
Okay.
I think we're already starting to make our way out.
It goes a little further, but I just didn't want to go too far on my own. But
What'd you say?
it just goes further. But I don't want to get separated completely, so come up a bit and let me go a little bit further.
Can we walk on it? Is it going to burn our little feet?
I'm not really a good tester.
Do we need to fly?
Oh man, an episode a day. What a fool. What a fool old Mega was. An episode a day. And you know what's hilarious? I still in my head think sometimes, yeah, that's still possible. I could still see a future where I stream much more than I do now. The reason I don't stream as much now is because I have other things that unfortunately take priority. You know, like, Critical Eyes does not make enough money, unfortunately, for me to stream it every single day. But, you know, if it was at the point where it made enough money to support me, fucking I would do it every single day right now. But I have other things. Also, it's so freaking hot in here. Sorry. I had to take off my overpants. I'm not taking off my pants. I'm just taking off my overpants. But even without a job and a wife, an episode a day consistently would be a lot. It would be a lot. It's possible that it would be more than it is now, but yeah, oh boy. Mega went full-time for a little bit, and that was not enough. That was not enough money to be sustainable, so we're not full-time anymore.
I don't think so.
Okay.
What do you got, though?
Up and over. Let's go up there.
We follow Vax.
All right.
Can we cast a locate object on the anvil, or don't you have something that sends a direct path to an object?
Find the path, but I think I have to have seen the object before. It would also burn my last 6th level spell.
I could do it, but you have to be familiar with it. Being told about it doesn't count, does it?
You don't have enough information, I'd say, to do that, yeah. So you guys all emerge from the water to gather up with Max.
I'd like to lead them to where that jump is.
Okay. As you all take a deep breath under the water and get to the surface, you make a test breath, and the air in this pocket is still poisonous and unbreathable. So you guys are going to have to take a deep breath under the water, and hold your breath as you make your way down that tunnel.
Oh fuck.
Were there any other pockets of water along the way?
Shit. Get back in the water. I'm going to solo go where I wasn't intending to see how far it is to get to the next bit of water. You said it was a jump over magma?
Yep.
Does your creepy undead brain remember how long it takes before we die if we don't breathe? Do you remember that?
There's a lot of... I walk away from her.
All right. It's a decent jump to get over the lava. It's not a hard one necessarily.
Yeah.
But I want you to make an athletics check anyway.
Ooh, better use one of my legs for that. That was a 1. Woo! 6!
Again, it's weird. I wonder if Matt knows if there are suffocation rules or not, or if there's jumping rules or not, but it's like, if that's another sort of rule that he could have given to the players ahead of time, and it all feels very improv almost, but I know that it's not. And it makes sense as to how we got Daggerheart from this sort of GMing. Like, and I understand why Matt was maybe attracted more towards 5e than Pathfinder. Like, he seems, especially here, he doesn't always seem like this. Sometimes he seems like a real rules stickler. And then other times, he will just sort of ignore rules, even if they exist, and just go to skill checks. So, in that vein, like with how much Matt loves using skill checks, I've always called him a very high roll GM, very high roll table. I do understand how we got Daggerheart, which invests much more into its equivalent of the skill check system, with the hope and fear, with the gradients of success built into the actual rolls. But it is interesting with how much I know that Matt is like known for knowing rules, that sometimes he just kind of doesn't use them for seemingly not a lot of reason. I don't know. Speaking of campaign, how are you liking C4? Hopefully that was to other people in chat, because I haven't been watching it. As far as I know, at least in the beginning, Matt preferred Pathfinder. He just rightfully probably didn't think Pathfinder would be as good for streaming. I mean, I think that's accurate. It wouldn't be as good for streaming, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to me. The lack of like him actually using the suffocation rules or the jump rules, like these things that we actually, or even the swimming speed rules, it doesn't seem like he was actually like using. This is all very like rules light. Like I said, it reminded me of Blades in the Dark for a reason. This feels very rules light, Blades, Daggerheart sort of situation. Yeah, which is it's just very different from what I normally expect from Matt, and it's kind of getting some fits and starts on it.
6.
Burn, baby, burn.
Total 6.
Yeah, total 6.
Oh no.
Already used luck, it's done.
Why does this always happen to us?
I don't know, but I love it.
You run and make a leap, and you're pretty sure you made it.
Yeah, I made it. I'm good.
But one foot right into it.
The same foot?
Is it the same foot?
It's the same foot.
Yeah!
Thankfully, your armor is set. So
Okay, that's right. That was just early on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yet, Vax ain't sweating it.
No.
No, not anymore.
Does your Raven Queen regenerate lost footsies?
What would have been 56 damage is reduced to
How much?
28 fire damage.
Yeah.
You pull out what has. It burns, it burns, it burns. Just kick it off.
Yeah.
You keep walking around the curvature, and it's about. It takes about 2 minutes or so of 2 minutes of brisk travel to get around the corner where you can see another pool of warm water.
2 minutes.
Oh boy, how are we gonna hold
Okay. So I see water, and I shove my face down in it and breathe it. Who knows? Who knows with me? And I go back to where I burned my fucking foot, and I go into the earring. I'm not gonna fucking jump over that shit again. Tell them what I saw. Yeah, 2 minutes. So deep fucking breath. Yeah.
Oh, 2 minutes.
And then just when you see me, run towards me and follow me.
Broom. Yeah. All right. Grog,
What?
are you good to run and jump over some lava?
Nope.
Cool. So as you guys are aware, you can hold your breath for a number of minutes, equal 1 plus your Constitution modifier.
What's your constitution?
Oh no! And what if you
Awesome.
Okay, but you were on foot. If I'm on the broom, like shoom, then maybe it wouldn't take as long.
Potentially.
Well, you were making a careful path. If you were to like continue to dash,
Yeah.
full dash run, it'd be close, but you can try it.
Okay, I'm gonna put trinket in the necklace.
All right, drink in the necklace.
You wanna get on the broom with me?
I've got the boots, so I was gonna use my boots.
All right, anybody scanning?
Yes, please.
All right.
You know, it's just a thought, but like, I do have the big ass jug that can make like a big old thing of like portable water.
Sick!
Wait, what?
Wait, we're like waterboarding ourselves?
Well, you can breathe in that shit, right?
Next to the jug and just go boo.
We won't be able we won't be able to see. But
Can we fit our head in that jug?
Can we fit
Yeah, you can.
So you're just gonna carry the jug, and as long as we stick our head in the jug every time we need to breathe.
How big a damn jug?
Well, not everybody at once, but you guys, it's about that big
I
around.
would say that 7 more times.
Wow.
We'll space them
We
out.
might run out of water though, because we're breathing it in. Right?
yeah, but you're
Regenerates
breathing it back
water.
out. You're just recycling it. It'll get a little less
How
oxygenated.
long does a fish live in a fish tank?
You're right. We're big fish.
In a little way.
Do you want to do that?
Oxygen.
Yeah, let's
This is
try it.
salt water or for
I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's man. I got nothing to say besides great solution. Grog to the rescue. And this is like, you know, I think I'm being hypercritical and like thinking about this sequence a lot more than maybe an average GM would, because this is one of, if not the most, I think, intense exploration sequence in terms of like really consistent exploration type challenges or just like terrain challenges that Vox has had. It's a very straight line. It's just like you just have, you know, thing after thing that you have to deal with, but I'm okay with that. Especially when Matt doesn't do this sort of thing a lot. I'm cool with it. Yeah, I'm cool with it. I think this would have benefited maybe from being a little bit more detailed. So I really liked when Matt gave, you know, when he gave Vax like a, you know, you walk for 2 minutes before reaching the pool. I wish we would have just had that of like, oh, you leave this pool, it's 2 minutes to the next one, and there's a thing in between, right? Instead, we got all of this like stuff with feet and with like stuff that kind of didn't matter because we're not using the jump distance rules, so the number of feet that we had didn't matter. It's like, I'm trying to think of exactly how to say it. The detail is in weird places, I guess, in this. There is, like, the appropriate amount of detail in some places. There's too much detail in other places. There's weird detail in other places. It all just feels a little bit janky, but I like what Matt is going after within the jank. And I love Travis's clever solution to it. I think their solution of like water breathing in general is very interesting, and may or may not be what Matt even expected. So yeah, it's very weird. It's a very janky scene, but I like what it's going after and what it's accomplishing. A lot of it's kind of the opposite of a lot of my takes. Like a lot of times, I think Matt is really good at like executing things. But I don't always like love what he's going after, or I think maybe he didn't like think through some externalities or like the overall effect that things have. But this one I like every like the meta goals of everything. I'm just not so sure about like the individual details.
Fresh water.
Or wine.
Fresh.
So I take out the alchemy jug and I say, fresh water.
It fills with fresh water to the surface.
Try breathing it.
Are we underwater right now?
We'll take it out of the water.
Get out of the water.
Okay, I just out. I stick my head in it. Can I breathe?
Yeah, fine.
It works. It works. I'm holding it above the water.
Oh, smart.
Here, you could do this with a non-magical jug too.
Oh yeah, we just could have carried water in a jug.
Don't downplay my special
Chalices.
We do have an extra chalice I could just go.
That better be a fucking
You know
huge
what? I'm
chalice.
gonna just take the fancy chalice and just.
Okay.
All right.
One or two
I'm
breaths
going to
of
use
the
the breathing
chalice.
gun.
This is the funnest workaround.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's great.
So,
It's sick.
It's a water bomb.
essentially, you guys are gravity bonging your.
Dude, it rules. These sorts of solutions are why I like exploration challenges. I love it when my players find the crazy workarounds. Those are the best.
Way through an underwater volcano. If that's not Vox Machina, I don't know what is.
So many problems in my life. It's the solution to like half our problems.
We're gonna try to water bong every combat scenario for the rest of the campaign.
I was just looking at it. I was like, freshwater vinegar. Oh,
Alrighty. So,
Don't do drugs, everyone.
as you guys make your way around the way, this to the combination of that druid spell and strangely Grog's ingenuity, you guys have bypassed a fairly serious situation. You make it down around the curvature of the tunnel to where that small lava jump is. Anybody who wants to make that leap, go ahead and make an athletics check, please.
I
Stand on the
activated,
broom and we just fly on it.
All right,
I
brain is fine.
activated my boots in this.
Walk around, not a problem.
Yep, and I use my mantle, which I constantly forget, that triples my jump distance.
It does, so go ahead and make an athletics check.
Your mantle triples your. Oh, because you can like
21.
whoosh.
That's not great.
Well-
Acrobatics?
Athletics.
That's better. That's better. 15.
15, yeah. You just coast over. It's like a soft neo jump. You know, not quite that far, but you just
actually like
coast to the land on the other side. Grog, what'd you get?
21.
21. You guys all make it across that little stretch of molten rock without an issue. You continue around the way. Vex and Vax, as you guys are making heavy footfalls and kind of making some distance, you begin to feel like this rumbling on the ground beneath you.
Oh, shit.
I think there's something brewing. Or an earthquake,
Earth elementals.
potentially.
Or volcanic earth elementals.
Everybody hold still for a moment.
I cast Pass Without a Trace on all of us.
Okay.
Tight.
Dope.
I would like all of you to make a stealth check right now.
Ooh, I think we barely got that in.
Barely.
Foreshadow danger. We love
Plus
that.
31.
All right.
34.
34.
40.
Also, I will note, I don't know what any of this shit smells like. I don't know what a single thing in here smells like. And it's a weird environment. It probably has some crazy smells. But I like the foreshadowing danger. I love a good ground rumble. A good rumble in the ground to let them get like one thing off before the combat starts. Not enough for them to get multiple things off before the combat starts. They have to pick and choose. They have to say, do I want to do Pass Without a Trace? Do I want to do Mage Armor? Do I want to do fucking Armor of Agathis? You know, whatever. Did I just name 2 Warlock things because I couldn't think of any other spells? Yes, but I like it.
Wow, 25.
My favorite thing.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh no.
Oh no, plus 10.
16.
Oh,
Plus 10.
that's still above something.
I'm sorry.
What?
I don't have a feeling.
What about trinket?
Grog.
Trinkets
Rotten
and
smell?
necklace.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The rumbling stops as you all kind of quietly just stand still. You begin to get bold to take a few more very, very faint steps on the ground.
No.
The rumbling continues and gets louder and louder. All right,
Oh shit.
I'm gonna go to break.
boy.
I'm hungry.
Hee hee, ha ha ha, what a little trickster. How dare he? How dare this man? I love it. That's the sort of rude that I will always support. That's the exact type of rude a GM should be to his players. I'm into it. Let's see. Was this a combat medium? This is a combat medium. We haven't had a combat yet, so I have a feeling combined with the ground rumble that we're about to go to combat, that makes me feel like I'm trying to think. Do I want to go? Because I want to fix the chat highlights. I thought they were fixed, and they're clearly not. And now I'm debating, do I want the work in to like experience that for the first time, or do I want to just like get to the combat and then we just start there? I want the work in. I want to experience the thing that I always say Matt should do, of having some amount of narrative work in between or before the combat starts. So I'm going to leave it there. Okay. You know what I'll say. first and foremost, the Notes app worked pretty well. There was seemingly a bug where I couldn't make something a bigger font size, so I'll need to address that. But all in all, especially if I had like some sort of button where I could format John's notes, I think the new Notes app could be pretty cool. Hopefully, fucking, I'm continuing to fix stuff. The audio stuff is going to just be broken for a while because the apps just aren't fucking talking to each other. Awesome. So glad that my apps can make enemies with each other now. It's what a great time to live. But hopefully it will be soon because YouTube seemed okay. OBS was only a little bad. I dropped I think 300 total frames, which is less than 1%. So hopefully the internet continues to hold. And then we'll be able to watch the next half on Monday. Continue crossing your fingers. I'll continue to improve it. We'll get back there. But either way, thank you for joining. This is a weird stream. Keep your fingers crossed. And I'll see you later. Just a short little experience of Mega. Everyone remember to watch Artemis Splashdown. Space is cool. Agreed. Goodbye.